Ange Postecoglou, the Forest boss, there as the light show begins at the City Ground. Fireworks up into the air, the main lights have been dimmed, plumes of flame shooting into the sky on the far side of the field. All the crowd are in place already. You don't often see that in the build-up to a game. We've got, 6 minutes until kick-off. Sometimes you see gaps in the stands. Not tonight. Everybody knows how important it is, Matt Murray. But let me ask you, before we do the team news reminder, about Ange Postecoglou. He has won trophies all over the world. He won the Europa League at Tottenham last season. Of course, Spurs ending that 17-year run without a trophy. Does he deserve a bit more respect, maybe, Matt, on his name?
I give him a lot of respect. And I think still a lot of people in the game do respect him. Yeah. But I think that some of the stuff, obviously, and no problem, he went and put himself out there, didn't he? In the second year, I always win something at Spurs. That's what he did with teams, and he put himself out, and he ended up winning. So, fair play to him, because it's not very... Like in England, people don't do that. They're saying pride before a fall. Where he went and put himself up there, I like the way he offers opinion. His CV stacks up. People went into Celtic, asked questions. So he'll be coming here now. He did deliver at Spurs. Whether there's some of the time in the league in that second season, but he's still got a trophy. He'll come here. He'll believe with his squad he can win, but he does have to start winning games.
As Celtic 0, Braga 2 tonight in the Europa League. Feyenoord against Aston Villa. Live on Talksport, underway just like us at 8 o'clock. We'll keep you up to date with Sturm Graz against Rangers as well. Another big game for Russell Martin in the Conference League. Crystal Palace winners at Dynamo Kyiv by 2-0. Aberdeen take on Shakhtar Donetsk at 8 o'clock tonight. Still the fireworks hype into the air. And now there's a banner in the lower tier of the Trent end, a tifo with a picture of the River Trent on it, Trent Bridge. For a new generation, our time has come. Cue the two teams, Nottingham Forest and Midtjylland of Denmark. They are a potential threat tonight, but here they come as European football returns finally to the City Ground. Forest led out by Morgan Gibbs-White, and now the two teams going to be presented either side of the halfway line. Forest fans get to their feet, red and white scarves being waved into the air, and they're holding up their camera phones as well. There might have been a time when Forest fans, even relatively recently, even in the last few years, didn't think that European football would be coming back to this part of the East Midlands again, but it is. And I can see Ange Postecoglou directly in front of our commentary position, walking around in his technical area just to the left of the halfway line as the Europa League anthem rings around the ground. Forest have Sells in goal, Milenkovic, Morato and Murillo the defenders, and Doy, Anderson, Sangare and Williams, Gibbs, White, Hudson-Odoi and Igor Jesus. That's about as attacking as it gets for them, Matt Murray.
It does, and they want to go out there, but at the same time they will know that they can't be complacent. They've got to still keep that back door closed, committing bodies forward, but realise there's some very, very good players in this Midtjylland side. But it will feel different when you're in atmospheres like this. This is why when you speak to players who play in these big European nights, how come strikers are so clinical and this and that? Because it feels different. The surroundings, the boards, the pyrotechnics. So they know if they're going to get one chance, they've got to take it.
Here's the Midtjylland side. Olafsson in goal, Diao, Ehrlich and Mads Bech Sørensen, the captain, who used to play for Brentford in midfield, and Babu, Philip Billing, formerly of Bournemouth, Castillo and Bak Jensen across the midfield. Junior Bramado, Cho and Simseer are the front three. Now, Matt Murray, you know Mikkel Bischoff, who used to play with at Wolverhampton Wanderers. He works in the Danish media these days. Who has he pinpointed as the men to look out for in the Midtjylland team? Well, it's not going to be easy tonight for Forest.
No, it won't be easy at all, and it's interesting because we were chatting before and he was telling me about Osorio, who's on the bench.
Yep.
But he was saying he's a really talented young player, and a few of their sort of more dangerous players actually have had injuries, so aren't starting but can come off the bench and have a real impact. He talked about them from set pieces being very dangerous, the long throw coming in, they'll be well set up, they won't take chance at the back. But of course, Philip Billing, he said, is still a very, very good player. You mentioned it there, he likes goals against Nottingham Forest. He'll probably have a point to prove. So, yeah, he said it's an exciting side, some young players. And I tell you now, there'll be lots of scouts here.
Well, here comes Mull of Kintyre. conditions in the modern era of Mull of Kintyre here at the famous Grand Old City Ground. For Nottingham Forest, the waiting is over. European football back on home turf, back on the banks of the Trent, and is tonight the night they get their first European competition victory since 1995, and their first win too under Ange Postecoglou. The crowd are up for it. Matt Murray, do you think the players will be?
Oh, the players will definitely be up for it. When you've got a manager like that, the crowd singing that's one of the best songs. Is that and a Chip Butty song? You know what Sheffield United? Oh, wow, that gets you. And the Leeds one, sorry.
Marching on together. Yeah, we know them all. We know them all.
They're top, but no, I think Forest will get out of the traps quickly. I do think they'll win, but it won't be easy. But in the end, I think they're going to win this game.
Forest in the red and white beneath the floodlights here. Midtjylland in the white shirts, dark blue and black shorts and white socks get us underway from right to left towards the Trent end. Early touch for number 8, Philip Billing, tall and powerful in midfield, as we know from his days in the Premier League. Goes back to the goalkeeper Olafsson, and Nottingham Forest playing from left to right in the first period in the familiar Garibaldi red towards the Bridgeford end, which tonight is packed with Forest fans. 168 Midtjylland supporters, I'm told, have made the trip, and they're in one corner of the stadium on the far side, but it'll be like a home game and then some for Forest tonight. Early long ball downfield for Midtjylland, and Morato didn't really deal with it there, and the referee has given a free kick and a booking for Morato, who was slow to control very early on, and it's a free kick to Midtjylland, only 5 or 6 yards from the edge of the D, dead centre, and the match referee Willy Delageant from France tonight laying down the law early on, Matt Murray.
Yeah, he is laying down the law, and that's the last thing Morato wants, and he goes in, he sort of goes over the top of the ball a little bit. There's no malice in it, but it is a lunge, and now he's going to be on that yellow card, only a few minutes, not even a minute into the game, you're going to be on towing that, on that tightrope. But it is what it is now. It's a free kick in a dangerous situation. They didn't defend well in a similar situation against Sunderland last time out, but and we've seen as well, they're getting the ball forward quickly, aren't they, Midtjylland?
Well, Philip Billing has got a great goal-scoring record against Nottingham Forest. He is standing over this along with Simseer, at just over a minute gone on Talksport 2. Nottingham Forest 0, Midtjylland 0. We're right amongst it with the home fans in the main stand here to the left of the halfway line, but there's danger early on for Forest. 30 yards out, Simseer right-footed, beyond the wall and wide via deflection. Sells, I think. You'll know this as a former goalkeeper, Matt Murray. I think he had it covered, but it is a corner. Yeah,
he did have it covered, and sometimes you see them deflect off walls like that and wrong foot the goalkeeper, but he had that covered and he was protecting his one side. The wall's done its job, but we talked about them being dangerous from set pieces. Midtjylland now.
They certainly are.
Yeah, ball's going to be in, swinging corner coming in.
From the near side of the field, we know that Ange Postecoglou's sides traditionally do not defend set pieces well. This one's taken short, worked back out to the near side of the field. Simseer goes to the back post with the cross, and it's beyond Ousmane Diaw, and out of play for a goal kick to Forest away to the left-hand side. They have beaten English opposition before, have Midtjylland. Louis van Gaal's Manchester United, as it was in 2016. But Forest, you feel like, are favourites tonight, as long as they can manage their nerves and manage the considerable aerial threats that Midtjylland have got. We were talking about it before the game, Matt, but anybody can see how big this Midtjylland side is.
Yeah, they've definitely got that physicality, and yeah, you can see why they are such a threat from set pieces. You get the delivery right, and Billing even in midfield is big, but good press there from Forest.
Back Jensen gives it away to Anderson, the now England senior international, plays it back to the halfway line, and Milenkovic. Forest yet to keep a clean sheet this season, despite being so renowned for their defensive work last year under Nuno Espirito Santo. Over 3 minutes have been played, and it's goalless on Talksport 2 in the Europa League. That after we brought you Crystal Palace's excellent 2-0 victory over Dynamo Kyiv earlier on in the Conference League. And of course, Feyenoord against Aston Villa is off and underway on Talksport tonight. The best way to get across all the action is to just download our app, and then you can swipe between both matches. Long ball by the Midtjylland goalkeeper, the flick downfield by Junior Bramado, but there's an offside against Gu Sung Cho, the South Korean forward, and a free kick to Nottingham Forest just shy of the halfway line. 5 changes for Ange Postecoglou tonight, Matt. Is that a gamble in any way, the number of changes, or do you think it feels about right?
Time will tell, but I can see why he brought the likes of Gibbs White back in, Jesus up front. You know, he's got previous in this competition already, so he's going to look to do that. Murillo come back in, so I'm not surprised. Zinchenko's not even in the squad at all, so that looks like an enforced one. So there's certain things that he's had to do, but I just feel at the moment Midtjylland have made the better start. They'll be the happier. They force that early corner, force that free kick. Forest just need to settle a bit, but it is going to be a squad game, and maybe Postecoglou doesn't quite know his best team yet.
Callum Hudson-Odoi, angled ball out to the far side, the left. Now here's an opportunity for Nico Williams to drive forward. Left edge of the penalty area, pulls it back towards the edge of the box. Milenkovic gets there on the edge of the penalty area, but he's fouled Simsir, says the referee. Forest fans in front of us, you can hear, not happy with that, and neither is Ange Postecoglou. The atmosphere is absolutely electric. Is that really a free kick?
I think Simsir's done well to get his body in the way. Forest are pressing, aren't they, quickly?
They are.
But when Nico Williams got in that position, I'm surprised he pulled it that far back. I thought he was going to whip it in with the red shirts in there. But yeah, Forest are getting after them. It's been a good tempo, hasn't it?
Yeah, very energetic, high intensity early on. Former Wolves goalkeeper Matt Murray with us tonight on Talksport 2. Sangare goes in, wins the tackle and is caught by Cho. What's the referee going to do here? There's just a talking to. Forest take the free kick quickly. And the fundamentals, the basics that have helped get Forest into this position in the first place still very much matter on European nights like this. And they look up for the fight, Midtjylland, actually, I have to say. Mads Bech Sørensen, who used to play for Brentford, has been penalised for a foul just inside Forest territory. 0-0 the score on Talksport 2. Nearly 6 minutes have been played. Forest go backwards to Murillo. A big boost to have him back fit tonight. Now an opportunity for Anderson to wriggle down the inside left, and here comes Williams surging forward on the overlap. Led with the edge of the penalty area. Forest in the red shirts, white shorts and red socks. Anderson caught, fouled by Castillo, and the Forest fans want a booking, and Castillo had something to say to Anderson while he was on the floor, and Forest players don't like that. And what's the referee going to do here, I wonder? Spicy start at the City ground.
It is, and there's a bit of a coming together there in the players, but yeah, it was an interesting challenge, and because everyone knows Anderson's top, isn't he? He is top for Nottingham Forest. He's so key, makes the game tick for them. It just looks like he's just left one on him a little. Is it just going to be a talking to here? But yeah, the Forest players certainly took exception. But this is a free kick now in a very, very dangerous position. Talk about the height of the Midtjylland players, but Forest are sending their big guns up as well. Do you think that should have been a yellow?
Well, it's consistency, isn't it, Matt? That's what I hear ex-players like you, current players, current managers say is the key with referees. If the foul by Morato's a yellow, he's put himself in a difficult position now, the referee.
He has, and it's because it's been quite a physical start, hasn't it, from both sides?
It has. Forest take the free kick short. Opportunity for Gibbs White to play a reverse ball down the left-hand side. Cross into the penalty area, headed away at the near post by Kevin Mbabu. Hudson-Odoi's delivery. Forest corner. Bridgeford end away to our right, 0-0.
You feel the roar of that. You hear the roar, and you can feel it. Listen to these fans now. They know this is a big moment.
They're really crowding the goalkeeper. Morato standing on his toes almost there, and the referee's going to have to go over and sort this out. And Morato right in front of the Iceland international goalkeeper Olafsson, who is a big goalkeeper, 6'6", and Hudson-Odoi waits Forest's number 7 to take the corner. 0-0 in the early stages. Here comes the delivery of Hudson-Odoi, in swinging, good thumping header away at the near post. The man with the header clear was Castillo. Now Forest go back. Williams to goalkeeper Sells, all in blue. He's got Castillo racing towards him. Sells goes long. It's over the head of Milenkovic. Oh, and then a miscommunication between goalkeeper and defender. Ehrlich hacked it away over his shoulder, and Forest have it back. Gibbs White, 25 yards out, left edge of the area, pokes it through the middle, and it took a big deflection off Billing. That could have ended up in trouble for Midtjylland there. In the end, it's a corner to Nottingham Forest. Matt Murray.
And then again shows you what the nerves can do, or the atmosphere can create, because that should have just been the goalkeeper's ball, easy. But his tactic clear, fair play to Gibbs White getting onto it, but now it's another corner, and let's see if they can just miss that front guy out this time.
Corner in front of the small travelling band of away supporters. In it comes from Hudson-Odoi. Goalkeeper gathers at the near post, and that'll be a little more of a confidence booster for Olafsson, who is keeping Jonas Lørsel on the bench. Lørsel, who you might remember has played Premier League football for the likes of Everton and Huddersfield before. Here down the left-hand side is Simsier for Midtjylland, who are second in the Danish top flight, the Superliga. There was a connection with Brentford for a while, but Matthew Benham sold his shares in Midtjylland in 2023. A lot of power and physicality in this Midtjylland side. They've got possession with Mads Bech Sørensen, forward to Junior Bramado, midway inside the Forest half, and now Victor Bak Jensen scampers infield, tries reverse ball towards Junior Bramado, away by Milenkovic. Now it comes to Simsier, the number 58, he can be quite lively. Simsier wriggles back towards the centre circle, good pressure from the Swiss Dan and Doy, one of the Nottingham Forest summer signings, that heavy outlay on new players over the course of the summer. And now Midtjylland have it with Bech Sørensen again. Back to the feet of Ehrlich. And good possession here for the visitors, with over 10 minutes gone and it's 0-0. Long they go towards Junior Bramado, and Morato didn't cut it out. There was an initial touch from Murillo, and Sells picks the ball up. I guess there must have been barely a touch from Morato there, but he doesn't look too confident early on.
It was a bit of a risky one for Matt Sells to pick that up, and you saw the forwards there for Midtjylland, asking the question anyway. But what I know, Midtjylland are getting the ball forward quickly at times, but they've also showed that they can get the ball down on the deck and play. This has been a pretty even game, I think.
Here goes Dan and Doy. We'll keep you up to date with all the goals as they go in from around the grounds in Europe, in games involving the British teams. Elliot Anderson right of centre, 25 yards out, wide to Doy, skips into the area, good sliding challenge from Bak Jensen, and Forest get their third corner of the night already. And after a slightly nervy opening couple of minutes, Nottingham Forest settling into this game on Talksport 2. It remains 0-0.
Yeah, they're just having a bit more territory, and say third corner, like you said, Anderson this time out swinging one, so I think this will miss out the goalkeeper, miss out that front post. But I've really enjoyed the tempo, the intensity, like you said, of this game.
Anderson's delivery, right-footed and out-swinging, headed up into the air by Philip Billing. Sangare nods it back in, but it's all the way through to the goalkeeper, all dressed in black, Olafsson, who's able to come out and control. And what is happening elsewhere around the grounds around the country? It's Feyenoord 0, Aston Villa 0 in our Talksport commentary tonight. Rangers behind in Austria. Sturm Graz 1, Rangers 0. Rangers have already lost once in this season's Europa League phase. And Aberdeen lead Shakhtar Donetsk by a goal to 0 in the Conference League. That after Crystal Palace beat Dynamo Kyiv earlier on tonight. Live on Talksport 2, that game was. We've got Premier League football for you tomorrow evening. Bournemouth against Fulham on Talksport. Here on 2, a cracker from the Championship, Wrexham against Birmingham. And both those games begin at 8 o'clock. Simsier down the left-hand side for Midtjylland, infield away from Ndoy, who did get a touch on the square pass, and then two midfield players get confused with each other. Anderson and Sangare let Simsier run right through the middle, and they were fortunate there, Nottingham Forest, that the frontman Cho was deemed to be in an offside position, because there was a tug at the shirt right on the edge of the penalty area. If he hadn't been offside, there might have been trouble for Forest, and Cho is still protesting to the referee here, Matt Murray.
Yeah, and it's interesting because he is in a slight offside position, but he's one in the pool. But Simsier was a little bit lucky how the ball came back to him, but I think he's lively, he's getting on it. But if he wasn't, I think it's a bit more luck than judgment that he was offside, and if he'd have played that ball into his feet, he was in, or say, if pull on the shirt, free kick to be given. So certainly a warning there, a reminder to Nottingham Forest, you've got to be switched on at the back. They've
scored plenty of goals, Midtjylland, 5 for Simsier so far this season. The head coach, Mike Tulberg, is, just like Ange Postecoglou, a recent appointment, just like Ange, his 6th game in charge. And they've only lost once all season Midtjylland. They had to play 3 qualifying rounds to get to the league phase. Forest, who drew 2-2 at Real Betis last week, looking for their first win of the new European campaign, and first under the new head coach. Gibbs White beaten to it by Back Jensen. Anderson there to win it back. Great tenacity on the halfway line from him. Now Morato in the centre circle steps forward. 10-yard ball to Anderson, through the legs of Billing. He's 25 yards out, he shoots, and it's over the top. All on his own there, Elliot Anderson. Nearly created a shooting chance, 0-0.
I think he's tough. He is such a good player. I loved him playing for England. And now every time he showed, you said tenacity, yeah, but then a bit of skill as well. He can do all sorts. And then shot from distance. I think with his calibre it is on, but didn't get over the top of it, went over. But great bit of skill from Elliot Anderson. I think personally he could play for a top 4 side. I think he's so good.
Just under a quarter of an hour play. Nottingham Forest 0, Midtjylland 0. And Forest fans, if they maybe were not expecting it, I think seeing in the opening quarter of an hour or so that they will have to be patient tonight. Here come Midtjylland, Junior Bramado charging through the middle, a little chip out to the left, and there's way too much on it for the fullback, Back Jensen. And out to play goes for a Forest throw in the right wing-back area, and Dannon Doy, who was named in the Conference League Team of the Season a couple of years ago when he was playing for Basel, is across to take it. Little touch from Sangaré on the halfway line, gets it back Miguel Jesus, forward to Callum Hudson-Odoi, looking to turn down the left hand side. Jesus to his right, Hudson-Odoi infield to the edge of the D, Curler wide, but Forest are getting closer and closer.
Yeah, certainly are. And again, Sangaré, it was really good play from Sangaré to play the ball out. And Hudson-Odoi, he's quite a bit out, isn't he? He's got work to do. The white shirts are getting back and trying to get around him. But yeah, good play. And then again from distance, but he just couldn't quite get it to come back. Couldn't get it to curl in, but very positive and probably the best chance of the night so far.
Well, so many were here nice and early in terms of the Forest supporting contingent. Just that special big game feel about it tonight. And the Forest in a special position in Europe for the first time since the mid-90s, and their first home game in major European competition since March of '96, when Bayern Munich came here and beat them 5-1. Free kick Midtjylland, right wing area, dangerous position. Forest fans don't like it, but they're going to have to defend another high ball into the penalty area in the 17th minute with the score 0-0.
They are, and these big guns are coming up again. I mean, you pointed it out, Joe, this is a big team. And that's probably why I didn't realise how big the goalie was, because of all these, you know, we know how big Philip Billing is, but he's not the biggest. And there's some big players coming up here. And they get the delivery right. There's 2 over the ball. Will it be in swinging, out swinging? Forest have got to hold that line, give Sells room to work in. But they are dangerous from set pieces. They cannot keep inviting these free kicks.
It's going to be delivered into the penalty area by Sincere towards the near post. Beck Sorensen, and touched in. Diao has scored at the back post, and Nottingham Forest, in this long-awaited return to European football at home, are behind. Diao, the defender, on the goal line, there to poke it into the net, and it's Nottingham Forest 0, Midtjylland 1, and for the first time tonight, the City ground is silenced.
Well, you said Postecoglou's side when he's at Tottenham were weak from set pieces. We said that they didn't defend well against Sunderland from set pieces. That's what cost them. And I actually thought this ball from Sincere wasn't actually that well hit. He sort of comes in low, but it manages, someone gets across the front, flicks it on, and it just evades everybody. And Diao at the back post is totally unmarked. Postecoglou's up on the screen now, and he looks, you know, just bewildered, like what's gone on, because you know how dangerous they are from set pieces, and you've got to show that desire to stay with your man. But yeah, I think you're looking at it, it definitely is onside, comes from late, and then Diao comes from round the back, toe it home for about a yard out. Let's see how Nottingham Forest react now.
They are 1-0 down, and Postecoglou's team, thankfully for Forest, there's still plenty of time left for them to get back into it. But in the 18th minute, the goal has arrived, and Diao has just poked it home. He really couldn't miss the Senegalese centre-half. And now Nottingham Forest seek an equaliser. without a win in 5 under Ange Postecoglou. Tug of the shirt of Anderson, and this time by Cho. Free kick to Forest inside the centre circle. And cool, calm heads, you feel, are key on a night like this. There's plenty of time for Nottingham Forest to rescue this game.
Yeah, stay calm, and actually they've been doing okay, but you know, this Midtjylland side, they've come to have a go, and they know how good they are from set pieces. And it was Mads Bech Sorensen, wasn't it, who got across the front to flick it on. Really, really good play from him. But yeah, I just feel Forest can't panic. They've got to settle down into it. They were probably having a decent spell, had a shot from distance. But yeah, it's how they react. But this Midtjylland side now will be very well drilled and hard to break down.
Won their last 6 in European competition, Forest. And Doy scampers infield towards the edge of the tee, and a grasping drive that's turned behind by Olafsson. He got hold of that, Damon Doy, left-footed. It's a corner to Nottingham Forest, 1-0 Midtjylland.
Yeah, it's always hard for keepers when players are allowed to come inside. So Dan and Doy, again, it's a shot from distance, but what I think Olafsson does well there is he stays quite deep in his goal. He knows he's got bodies in the way, he stays deep, he's got his big reach, he gets across and doesn't take any chances. 2 big paws to push it round, but positive response. But yeah, comfortable save, but still a decent save, no doubt.
Talksport 2, live from the Europa League. Nottingham Forest with Elliot Anderson taking the corner, flicked on at the near post, not dealt with, falls for Gibbs White, back across goal, another good save from the goalkeeper to turn over the effort from Milenkovic, and this time his sharp reactions as he flung up a palm. Olafsson in evidence. Forest 1-0 down with 20 minutes gone, but you wonder for how much longer.
Well, again, yeah, really positive, and we talk about Midtjylland being threat from set pieces. Nottingham Forest has done well to keep it alive, but it's a good top-hand save this time from Olafsson. It was a difficult one, wasn't it? It just reacts, and yeah, again, really, really good save.
Here comes Anderson again. Right-footed and out-swinging Midtjylland, who lead 1-0 with everybody back. Plenty of red shirts forward, into the near post with a corner on Babu. Can he scramble it clear under pressure? He can. He pokes it away. So pokes it high to the halfway line. Nico Williams is there for Nottingham Forest, and he will go all the way back to Sells. Sells hammers the ball downfield, and Gibbs White is chasing, and he's onside. 2 in the middle. Here comes a Doy! They haven't heard a roar like this at the City Ground in 3 decades. Damon Doy is there. It's a deserved equaliser. The Swiss has got it. Dan and Doy for Nottingham Forest. They were not behind for long. The roar Treadside tells you it's Forest 1, Midtjylland 1.
Well, what a response, what a reaction to going behind it. Had a couple of chances, looked dangerous, but to be fair to Matt Sells, he's getting pressed. Every time the ball goes back to him, he gets pressed, but he puts the ball into a good area. But Gibbs White, he has quality, he has composure. He gets through, one ball sort of takes out the whole Midtjylland defence, but he looks up into the middle. But to deliver the ball with that weight, with that perfection, if he goes too heavy, the player has, and Doy has to take a touch. If it's slightly behind him, it just literally into him, saying the message is on the ball. Finish that first time. Fantastic finish, fantastic response. Listen to that noise. 1-1.
Not even 5 minutes between the 2 goals, as the ball is headed down by Mbabu to the edge of the Forest penalty area. Trying to spin and turn is Simsir, left edge of the box, wide to back Jensen, who crosses, and it's gone behind off the goal scorer. Dan and Doy, the most popular man at the City Ground tonight. 1-1.
Fantastic finish, wasn't it? You see a lot of games, Joe. He's getting bumped from behind. He's a bit off balance, but because of the pass, it's so good. But he just good surface to guide it into the bottom corner. That's a really, really good goal. Excellent quality, great reaction. But now they have to manage these excitement of defending this corner.
The lead lasted just under 4 minutes. This is Talksport 2, and what a night we have already had, and much more to come midway through the first half. Corner to Midtjylland, delivered in by Simsir, flicked on! Is it going to go in? It is! They've got another! It's been scrambled home inside the 6-yard box. Ange Postecoglou cannot believe it. Another defensive mess at the back for Nottingham Forest. They all run over to the corner taker Cho. Mads Bech Sørensen was lurking. So too was Philip Billing. It's been bundled into the net, and I think it's Mads Bech Sørensen who will take the credit. But Nottingham Forest's hard work to equalise is undone almost immediately. Forest 1, Midtjylland 2.
And how often do you see that a team score and then they go and concede because you know your excitement's up, you've got to stay switched on. We talked about it in the build-up. So Nottingham Forest have been looking at it. They know what a threat Midtjylland are from set pieces. It's a really good delivery, but the way Billing gets across and he flicks it on. And then, to be fair, Sells makes a brilliant point-blank save with his leg, but Mads Bech Sørensen, he reacts quickly to poke the ball home. Let's see if Forest can react again, but for me, that's not tactics. Forest is set up well. It's just about quality delivery, but just desire, really.
So that is 3 goals in 6 minutes. And here they come again, Midtjylland down the right with Junior Bramado, and Forest's leaky backline has been unable to contain the team second in the top tier in Denmark. And now Midtjylland have got a free kick close to the corner flag, and something's got to change, and quickly. Forest have got to sort themselves out at set plays, Matt Murray. They're already 2-1 down, and it could get worse here.
It could get worse. And is that Murillo who did that challenge? Yeah, and he's hobbling back in, but I just feel that there's no need to commit the foul there. No need at all. You know, the player's going nowhere. Bramado's going nowhere. He's away from goal. He's in the corner. But now what you're doing is inviting that ball into your box again. Just stand up. You don't have to win it. You've pulled him down. We know how dangerous you are. Now ball's going to be whipped in, and he looks to me like he's hurt himself. We're buzzing that he's back, Forest are, but it looks like he's hurt himself.
I don't think he can continue here, Murillo, in his first game since being substituted in the first half of Nottingham Forest's defeat at Arsenal in Ange Postecoglou's opening game in charge. And he's being treated here on the field of play. He looks disconsolate. I think they've called over the Italian Nicolo Savona to the near side. He was the player who replaced Murillo at the Emirates Stadium, and I think the same thing is going to happen here. Forest 1, Midtjylland 2, with now more than 25 minutes having been played. And Matt Murray, defensively tonight, Forest have not helped themselves at all.
They haven't, and when you know a team, even if a team's not strong at set pieces, you don't want to invite balls being whipped into your box. But when you know a team is so well drilled, then you've got to not give needless free kicks away. Okay, that the second goal has come from a corner, and Doyle had to block it. It is what it is. But this one now, down the corner flag, no need. The first free kick that they scored from, again, didn't need to give that free kick away. Ball's coming in. So this is, as I say, it's not about tactics. I don't think it's a setup. Bodies are in the right place. Decent deliveries, but you've got to want it more than your man. You've got to get on it. You've got to react. And but as I say, those decisions. So it looks like it's going to be Murillo's night over. Let's see how Forest react again. But when this, first and foremost, they're going to have to, defend this free kick coming in the box.
Well, he was screaming at him to get ready more quickly. Ange Postecoglou to Nicolo Savona. Here he comes, and off goes Murillo, limping in front of the Trent end. He cannot continue. Another free kick for Forest to defend. 2-1 down. Again, the delivery from Simsir. Again, right in front of the 6-yard box. Sells punches away from on his goal line. Morgan Gibbs-White hammers the ball clear for Nottingham Forest, who will feel shocked, really, having got themselves level, but conceding again within 2 minutes. A flurry of goals in and around the midway points of the first half. And now, as we approach half an hour, Forest trailed by 2-1, and there'll be no underestimating Midtjylland now, live here on Talksport 2. Forest just cannot keep goals out. Anderson for there, number 8. Is he fouled by opposite number Billing? He is. Free kick to Nottingham Forest in the right back position. Murillo limps down the tunnel. The applause you can hear is from the Nottingham Forest fans around us, but that's such a disappointment. And the atmosphere has been so deflated, I think, Matt Murray, not just by that injury, but by the fact that Forest couldn't build on their goal at all.
Yeah, as you say, you get that optimism back in the ground, they get the goal, you know, really, really well worked. I thought it was a fantastic Nottingham Forest goal, and you think, okay, now go and build on that, and then straight away just like pops that balloon, doesn't it? Just comes back out of the ground and out of the crowd because they go and react so well, Midtjylland get that goal. But it's interesting here as well, just having a little look that Savona's come to the right of the back three, hasn't he? Milenkovic has gone in the middle, and so Savona's come out on this right-hand side.
The ball is cleared upfield by Matt Sells, high to the centre circle, headed away by the Croatian Erlich. Forest have it back, Gibbs White the captain, wide to the near side and Doy. Savona looking to raid forward on the overlap, and Doy the goal scorer. Out to Savona, big tall centre half again, dinked into the penalty area by Gibbs White, hammered away on the volley by Victor Bak Jensen. They look pretty well organised here, Midtjylland, aside from the Nottingham Forest goal where they seem to be caught with a very high defensive line. Ange Postecoglou knows all about that way of setting up. Long from Savona down the middle, header away by Madsbæk Sørensen, whose goal ultimately separates these two. Tackle on the halfway line by Morato, much stronger. Then he's beaten to it by Billing, but it's come to Anderson. Gibbs White breaking between the lines, drifting down the inside right channel. In a crossing position, only Igor Jesus in the middle. Hudson-Odoi's joining him now. Gibbs White into the area, was he fouled by Bak Jensen? No, says the referee on the field. VAR, I'm sure we'll have a look at that, Matt Murray.
Yeah, I thought there was a little tangle of legs there, and they're actually telling them to wait while they're going to look at it. So yeah, I thought Morgan Gibbs White gets into it. He links up well with Ndoye, and I don't know. My first thoughts was he's definitely got a question to ask, but it looks like it's been waved away. But maybe bumped off it. Little tangle of legs. I think if it's given, they wouldn't overturn it. Just my first glance at it.
Where do they get a better grip on the game, Matt, at the moment, Nottingham Forest? Because not easy when you're up against a team as physical as this Danish team are.
Yeah, that's a really good question. It looks like they've gone. Do you think they've gone to a back four as well?
You might be right. Yeah.
Just looking at that there.
4-2-3-1 maybe.
Exactly what I was thinking there. They've gone to a 4-2-3-1. Can they get on it? Can they build? But at the moment, it's really hard to get settled.
Junior Bramado down the right-hand side with a good reverse ball into the penalty area now. And Babu with a low cross and turned behind by Morato. Maybe the goalkeeper felt he couldn't get to it. It was fizzed in by Babu, the former Newcastle man, into the six-yard box. Morato had no one around him, maybe didn't know that. Corner to Midtjylland. Yeah,
he couldn't take chances there, but fair play to this Midtjylland side. It's not like they've taken the lead and sat back. They've kept doing what they're doing, but yeah, Morato wasn't sure what was around him, couldn't take any chances. But another set piece. I keep saying it, but every time they get a set piece,
it is nervy, isn't it?
And you can feel it in the stadium, I think.
The anxiety around the ground. Corner taken by Simpsey, lofted high into the area. Diao with the header! Wide! Listen to the fury from the Trent end. Nottingham Forest just cannot keep Midtjylland's set-piece threat from hurting them. And Diao, with him being one of the two centre-halves who's got on the score sheet tonight, nearly had another.
And that's it. And every ball that comes in, I mean, there's
header, man.
It's about 2 or 3 yards, isn't he, of space? And Diao's coming. He's already, you know what a threat he is. He's already got a goal. It was that bus stop one where they all joined together and then they all split off. And it is hard to mark, but they're not overly inventive. It's just a ball in. It's not like anything worked short or anything like that. Any real blocking. It's just either an in-swinger or out-swinger. But every first contact going into that Nottingham Forest box from a set piece has been from a Midtjylland head. It can't happen.
Well, there's another injury concern for Nottingham Forest now. It's Gibbs White down on the halfway line, and he's going to have to be treated here. So Igor Jesus, rather, is going to have to be treated here. The man who scored both goals in Seville last weekend. Let's keep you up to date with what's happening elsewhere tonight. In the Europa League earlier, Celtic 0, Braga 2, a full-time score. Feyenoord 0, Aston Villa 0, live on Talksport tonight. Sturm Graz lead Rangers by a goal to 0. In the Conference League, great win for Crystal Palace away at Dynamo Kyiv earlier, 2-0. And Aberdeen still lead Shakhtar Donetsk by a goal to 0. 03717 22344 to have your say on the sports bar later. And then tomorrow, 2 crackers for you on the network. Bournemouth against Fulham in the Premier League on Talksport, and in the Championship, Wrexham against Birmingham here on Talksport 2 as Igor Jesus gets to his feet. Across the rest of the weekend on the network, our commentaries include Leeds against Spurs, Sheffield Wednesday Coventry, Derby Southampton, and the East Anglian Derby, Ipswich Norwich, on Sunday here on Talksport 2. Forest 2-1 down with now 34 minutes gone and temporarily down to 10 as he come back on here. Igor Jesus, he has. Gibbs White tries to wriggle away down the near side to right. It's one back in the middle of midfield by Midtjylland, and then a foul on Junior Bramado by Sangare. And I think it's fair to say that they're losing that midfield battle at the moment, Matt Murray.
Yeah, and it's such an important battle. You need to stamp your authority there. It gives you that platform to go and play, and there's some good midfielders in there. I said to you, I think Elliot Anderson, he's trying to get around, he's trying to win it, but at the moment they're not able to just get any sort of foothold in the game. Every time they get close to them, they're conceding free kicks. So changing formation, you've got Gibbs White dropping in a bit, trying to make up those extra numbers. You've got the bodies in there, but at this moment in time, this Midtjylland side, they are very, very good in and out of possession. So if anyone thought this was going to be an easy night for Forest,
you were much mistaken. They are looking for back-to-back wins to start the league phase, Midtjylland. High diagonal ball by Beck Sørensen for them. Towering header away by Murillo this time. The loose ball has dropped to Junior Bramado, but there was a foul by Castillo in there. Daniel Castillo, Ecuadorian, and in his second season at the club, he at 6'2" is one of the smaller ones, it feels like. As Anderson nearly gives the ball away for Nottingham Forest. Good work by Gibbs White to pirouette away from two in the white shirts of Midtjylland. Little flick by Igor Jesus. Now Anderson out to the left-hand side. 10 minutes of the first half to go. Lovely football from Forest. 2-1 down on Talksport 2. It's cut back to Anderson, edge of the area. Places it, and the goalkeeper right behind it. Good football though.
Yeah, really good football. And again, you're asking me why Forest are finding it harder. I think Midtjylland are really go and press and not giving Forest any time. When they can, they'll give away sort of clever free kicks, but that time Forest were able to squeeze out of it, get out of it, and then once they beat those bodies and they get the ball out wide, cutting in, and it was a really good effort.
Well, one back by Sangare, the number 6. Square ball to the left. Hudson-Odoi feeds Anderson. Lovely feet away from Mbabu. Good pace to this attack from Nottingham Forest. On the outside left is Nico Williams across to Hudson-Odoi to deliver in, swinging, and Doi back post. Couldn't turn it back across goal on the stretch. He ends up nearly in the front row of seats at the Bridgeford end, but much better in the last couple of minutes for Nottingham Forest, with the first half now 36 and a half minutes old, and Ange Postecoglou not happy with what he sees as some Midtjylland time wasted. Goalkeeper Olofsson eventually belts it long. Morata with a free header clear. Drops on the edge of the centre circle inside Midtjylland territory. This game is brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football. And another free kick to Midtjylland here, who in the key moments of the game, you feel like, just seem a bit more streetwise. Matt Murray, we've seen some lovely football from Forest, and the equaliser was great, but maybe Midtjylland are just playing it a little more cleverly at the moment.
Yeah, they know how to take the sting out of the game, don't they? That's what I'm saying. But you just said it there. Who's going to take the goal kick, having a little chat, and then it's the keeper, but he can't book him for it. Ooh, got pressed there, didn't he?
He nearly gave it away, did Olofsson. Diao manages to find Mbabu in the right back position. Mbabu loses out to Nico Williams, raiding infield from the left. Nico Williams to the corner of the penalty area, goes down, play continues. Igor Jesus' shot is saved by the goalkeeper, but the referee needs to bring that back. That is ridiculous. To give them the advantage, instant shot. It should be a Forest free kick on the left corner of the penalty area.
Yeah, it was only seconds apart, wasn't it? And it was at the corner of the box. So the shot's gone straight into the goalkeeper. I might even still save that now. So, do you know what I mean?
I've got a chance.
I mean, my little 7-year-old would have saved that one. So, it's no advantage. I could understand it with 5-6 seconds late. It was literally a second after, wasn't it? After the foul. Yeah, very strange decision from the ref. Probably the first one he's really got wrong for me.
Ball is bouncing on the halfway line. Still a pretty breathless pace to this game. It hasn't settled down or slowed down at all. Nice touches, nice turn from Sangare midway inside his own half in a tight area. Sangaré, the big midfield player, good technician, missed a lot of last season with a hamstring injury. Morato chips the ball over the top, header away by the retreating Diao, backpedaling. Hudson-Odoi wins it back high up the pitch. In support is Williams, who's darting down the left-hand side, driving towards the dead ball line for Nottingham Forest. Back to Callum Hudson-Odoi, two calling for it square. One of them is Igor Jesus, edge of the area, flick over the top, and Doi hooks it on out of play. They really are playing some nice flowing football, Nottingham Forest. Late in the first half here, 6 minutes of it to go, plus added time on Talksport 2. Just can't find the space for the equaliser yet.
Yeah, but that was really... I think Nico Williams and Hudson-Odoi are combining really well, and the way they inject the tempo, the little runs in underlaps, overlaps, bodies getting forward. But to be fair to this Midtjylland side, they are still, they're organised, they're tracking runners. So as much as they're getting into the areas, they haven't seriously tested the Midtjylland goalkeeper, have they, Nottingham Forest, since they've gone behind.
No, you're absolutely right, Matt. A couple of saves that he made before the initial equaliser, but nothing really since then. I'm sure that Ange Postecoglou will be so frustrated, though, because for all of Nottingham Forest's good play in open play, where's that defensive solidity gone? It is nothing like last season. 2 set plays and 2 headers from centre halves, or 2 finishes from centre halves. The first was a toe poke from Diao. Here is Junior Bramado for Midtjylland, shrugging aside Morgan Gibbs-White, playing it square to Mbabu, about 15 yards into opposition territory, goes back to Diao, the number 4. Diao square into the path of Ehrlich. Well, actually a very watchable side, Midtjylland. Yes, they're physical, and yes, they play for set plays, but they can play some good stuff as well. Simsir out wide to Mbabu, early high ball into the penalty area. Cho brings it down, it's deflected away from goal, comes to Simsir, wide to back Jensen, chips in the cross, it hits Savona. It's a corner to Midtjylland at the Trent end, Matt Murray, and here comes that nervousness. 4 minutes of the first half to go for Forest fans again, 2-1 down.
Every time it's coming in, I'm feeling it, and I'm thinking, are they got to do something different? You can see that they're zonal along that 6-yard line. Maybe they've got to go up and get against people. They're going to put bodies in and around Matt Sells, but you just keep feeling. The edge of the box is very open here as well for Midtjylland.
Here comes Simsir with another delivery, fizzing into the area, header away by Milenkovic. Some ironic cheers from the Forest fans. Flick back into the penalty area. Sells will let it bounce into his gloves. There's enough leaders and experienced players on the pitch for Nottingham Forest in these situations, you'd think.
Yeah, I agree, but the setup is how it is with the manager. But he said an ironic cheer there, because I do think that feels like the first time that a ball's come in from a set piece into the Forest box that they've actually got the first contact, and that's what you have to go and do. So look, there are good deliveries, but not in Forest. That would be something that maybe at half-time Ange Postecoglou's got to tweak a little.
Callum Hudson-Odoi raiding down the left-hand side, far side of the field, into the penalty area now, onto the right foot, the former Chelsea man, back to Anderson. Hudson-Odoi, very tight area, darts towards the dead ball line once more, but can't get his crossing. Anderson now, 10 yards from the corner flag, nudges it backwards through the gap to Hudson-Odoi, whips that in, header away by Philip Billing. And they're probably not going to trouble Midtjylland too much with high crosses into the area, you wouldn't think.
And that's it, they don't mind balls in the wide areas, and then when they come in, then all the gaps, they are really, really good. There's a lot of height in that Midtjylland box, and they are very organised, protecting that big rectangle, as you say, just really, really good, and getting good headers away and good headers clear.
They have got Chris Wood on the bench, Forest, and if they're 2-1 down going into half-time, which looks like being the case, 2.5 minutes plus added time to go, I wonder how long it will be before Chris Wood does come on.
I was thinking that. I'm looking at Igor Jesus. He hurt his wrist a little, but he hasn't really impacted the game at all tonight, and I was excited to see him, as you say, his goal scoring form in this competition.
That's
but
it.
He's not had a sniff, has he?
4 goals in 2 starts for Forest, but you've not had the ball in front of goal at all tonight. Free kick left of centre. Anderson midway into Midtjylland territory scoops that high, a really strange delivery. It was so floaty and quite easy to defend, and Milenkovic was out-muscled at the back post, and it's a goal kick to Midtjylland, who are 2-1 up, and at the moment ruining the City grounds return to European football.
And I think they're worthy of their league. They've been good. They've been really good.
Yeah.
I know they've come from set plays, but they've been really good in and out of possession. But Anderson will be disappointed, won't he, with that free kick? We've seen how important set pieces can be, but his free kick was poor there.
Hudson-Odoi, edge of the centre circle, and nudges it towards Williams on the overlap. Good sliding challenge from Babu. Nothing wrong with that from what I could see. Williams went down. I think he was looking for a free kick, doesn't get it, rightly so. And Babu from the corner flag crosses. Morato nudges it away. Gibbs White gets there on the edge of the penalty area. Back to Morato, the number 4, and a calm pass up to Nico Williams, and now Anderson can stride forward towards halfway. Forest looking for a second equaliser of the night. Last minute of normal time at the end of the first half on Talksport 2. That was some roar when the goal went in for the initial equaliser. They need at least one more tonight, Nottingham Forest. Through a ball from Sangare. Comes back to Sangare into the penalty area now. Square to Ndoi. Back to goal. Nudges it wide. Hudson-Odoi is there. 4 in red in the middle. Hudson-Odoi goes for goal himself, and it's hit the defender. That was Mbabu, good block. Now Elliot Anderson, left corner of the area, in swinging ball, away by back Jensen. Played in spells tonight, Forest, as that lunge comes in from Savona, not spotted by the assistant referee, who's only a couple of yards away from it. Midtjylland clear it long, Morato lets it bounce. 3 minutes of added time at the end of the first half as Morato goes back to Matt Sells. What a noise again.
Imagine if they got that goal just before half time. They'll believe. Oh well, not with passes like that. I was just going to say, I think they'll believe there will be one more chance. I do feel down the left hand side is where the most joy is going to come for Nottingham Forest. You know, I think Hudson-Odoi, it's a good battle, isn't it, down this left hand side against Mbabu. But that time the pass was overhit. But even then, when Hudson-Odoi came in, I like the defensive side as well, when teams are well drilled and came inside and the next defender releases, gets a block in. So yeah, they do look very, very well drilled and well coached, this Midtjylland side.
Matt Murray, former Wolves goalkeeper, with us on Talksport 2. Nearly a minute through the 3 added at the end of the first half. Their next game in the Europa League, Forest, is here against Porto. That will be tough. And then a trip to Sturm Graz, who were leading Rangers last time we checked. The ball is on the halfway line. Forest with Milenkovic now. Angled ball over halfway out to the right-hand side. It's with Savona. Savona now holds on to possession, waits for the run of Ndoi ahead of him, goes square in infield. Elliot Anderson driving to the edge of the tee, lays it square into the path of the shot from Williams, and it's deflected away by Diao. Throw to Forest, last 90 seconds of first half added time. Savona takes the throw square. Anderson back out wide to the Italian, who looks up and crosses right-footed. Here comes the goalkeeper, commanding display from Olafsson so far. Matt, he hasn't really done anything wrong, I don't think.
No, he's done well. The only thing I would say is I thought he dropped to the floor there. You know, that collapse one had just run the time down.
The one that always annoys the fans.
Exactly that, but no, look. Do you know why it was easy for him? Because the defensive line was so good and gave him room to work in. So, yeah. But he's been good. I think at the moment everyone's performing well. So the crosses coming in, and they don't mind the balls coming in because they know they can defend them well.
It's a good game, isn't it? Frenetic pace. It's been the same way really from the off. Classic Ange Postecoglou pace to the game. About 35 seconds of added time left in the first half. Forest 1, Midtjylland 2. Sells clips the ball long, high. That's going to go over the head of Igor Jesus. Diao has to send it back to the keeper, who controls it well and then hammers it away on the half volley. He belted that Diao high into the air. Olafsson did well to clear it. Forest now have a free kick on the halfway line, and now the referee's got it wrong again. Anderson surging forward, should have played the advantage. Pulls it back, the referee.
Yeah, surely the one before when Nico Williams was fouled where Forest won the free kick. Oh, yeah, they don't give it. But anyway, is that the half-time whistle?
It is the half-time whistle, and it's 2-1 to Midtjylland. I noted that there are a few seconds of the half to go there. But anyway, well, where do you start to sum that up? 2-1 to Midtjylland at half-time. We've seen the good and the bad of Nottingham Forest really under Ange Postecoglou. The bad in that they've conceded from 2 set plays that were desperately poorly defended. The good, the move that led to the equaliser from Dan and Doy, and that very special moment as the City ground roared home a first goal in European football at this stadium for the best part of 3 decades. All 3 goals came in the space of 6 first half minutes. Diao with the opener and Doy with the equaliser. Mads Bech Sørensen, the former Brentford man, bundling home the goal that separates them. And as the teams head down the tunnel right in front of our commentary position, it's Nottingham Forest 1, Midtjylland 2, and these are the thoughts of Matt Murray.
Well, the good is it's been really, really entertaining.
Yes.
I've loved that. 2 teams having a go, getting after each other. You can see what the identity of both sides are. But the bit that will frustrate Ange Postecoglou and these Nottingham Forest fans is everybody knows what a good set-piece side this team are, and as much as they've had the ball and worked hard, Midtjylland, the goals have come from set plays where Forest haven't picked up well enough, and that will be really, really hurting this Nottingham Forest club.
Well, I want to get into you with that, Matt, because you know what people will say. They'll say Ange Postecoglou can't defend set plays, but actually, do the players have to take a bit more responsibility? Because the manager can't do anything about a free header for somebody.
Exactly, you sort of look at set-up sometimes, but the players do have to take responsibility. And the bit that also winds up people, because I've done my coaching badges and I've coached and I've been in those dugouts. When you know your team are conceding goals from set piece, when you know a team is a real threat, you work on it so hard, and people have to do their jobs. You look at it. So firstly, don't invite pressure into the box, so don't give silly free kicks away that you don't need to. Then about getting tight, knowing your jobs. So yeah, Ange Postecoglou, you might look, oh, where's my best header of the ball? This is a big Midtjylland side, but I still feel you've got to get up against people, you've got to react to them the second balls, and there's only one ball in that I can think of, all these set pieces where Forest got the first contact, and that's sometimes about desire, because they've not been overly clever, the balls have come in, but there's still lots and lots of positives to Nottingham Forest to say. I mean, the Doy's look good.
Some lovely football, haven't they?
They have, and they've worked hard and they've gotten the ball. It's and this is a night full of nostalgia, and it's an energetic night, and everyone knows what it's about. But the goal, wow, the quality of that Nottingham Forest goal was brilliant, wasn't it?
The pass, the finish, and the noise.
It was amazing. It was amazing, and that's what it was. So Nottingham Forest went behind, and you're thinking, how are they going to react? Well, I thought they reacted really positively.
Yeah.
Then the way Morgan Gibbs White runs on, and the quality of that ball across, and you watch a lot of games, Joe, but it was excellent, wasn't it? And the way that the run was held by Dan and Doy, and he finishes it, he slides it home. Then you're thinking, okay, Forest, brilliant. You're going to run on, and you're going to push on with this, but then to concede straight after from a set play was so disappointing, so preventable.
Just a quick one on changes, Matt. Chris Wood, at what point would you bring him into the game?
Well,
is he thinking about it now, the manager?
I think he'll be thinking about it, but I think it will be around the hour mark. He'll still have one eye on Newcastle and everything else, and he'll be looking at it. And there's still a lot of positives to take from Forest. They have still looked a threat when they've gone forward. All right, they look very vulnerable from set pieces when they can see, against them. But going forward, they've looked good. I think that Igor Jesus will think, come on, give me a chance. I'd still deserve, I've earned the right to play a little bit longer. But if it stays like this, I think it'll be no longer than the hour mark, and you'll see Chris Wood on. And I think he's got a point to prove as well.
Well, much more from Matt Murray, former Wolves goalkeeper, to come here at the City ground. It has been a thriller overnight as the rain falls now. But Forest 2-1 down. Second half coming up shortly on Talksport 2.
Online, on DAB+, and on the app.
This is Talksport 2.
TNT Sports presents.
We're all set.
Over 185 UEFA Champions League games. And all 342 Europa and Conference League matches.
Spurs have won the Europa League.
The stage is set.
Absolutely brilliant.
Get all these competitions in one place with TNT Sports on Discovery Plus, or watch TNT Sports channels on EE, Sky and Virgin Media. Subscription required. Age 18 plus. T's and C's apply.
The moustache is calling. For years, people around the world have been united by the power of the moustache. This Movember, unite to take on mental health, suicide, prostate and testicular cancers. Come together, grow together, raise funds, save lives. Change the face of men's health. Sign up at Movember.com.
Mickey could try to sell his car privately. Or get it sold today with We Buy Any Car. He could spend days on end trying to sell to a bunch of time wasters. Or sell in a flash and head to the fun fair with the kids. Proper gutted. Or proper impressed. To get a quote in 30 seconds, enter your reg number now at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
Electricians, the CEF Trade Catalogue is back with hundreds of pages of great new products, electrical solutions and expert advice. It's what you need to make your toolbox even better. Just pop in store and take one away, or visit us at cef.co.uk and request your copy. It's completely free. So what are you waiting for? Pick up the all-new CEF Trade Catalogue. Your toolbox just got better. CEF, your electrical experts.
So, John, you think Argos is just good for toys?
Well, no,
Trevor, show him what he's missing.
This sleek Bose Soundlink Bluetooth speaker. Brilliant bass, eh, John?
Oh, there is more to Argos.
Get the latest tech and more on the Argos app today. Subject to availability in selected stores and argos.co.uk.
Every weekday at 4, as the mics go live, the gloves come off. Talksport Drive with the Smashing Machine. The powerhouse new UFC movie starring Dwayne Johnson. Join Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent for afternoon radio as Combat Sport. Get toe-to-toe debate, unfiltered opinion, and heavyweight pundit analysis that hits hard. Talksport Drive with the Smashing Machine, starring Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt, in cinemas October 3rd.
Your live sports station.
Oh, what a move! This is Talksport 2.
Talk Sport. We live live football.
What a strike!
Kick-by-kick commentary from more leagues than ever.
Oh, he's hit the crossbar!
One giant season of live football.
What a fantastic strike!
Over 500 unmissable fixtures on Talk Sport and Talk Sport 2.
PGA Tour Sanderson Farms Championship on Talk Sport 2 this evening from 10. As the world's golfing elite go head-to-head at the Country Club of Jackson, hear full swing by pitch by putt commentary of all the action direct from Mississippi. PGA Tour Sanderson Farms Championship this evening from 10. Live on Talk Sport 2.
The Monday Club on Talk Sport 2.
A broadcasting juggernaut of sport.
They were in big trouble at half-time.
Professional analysis.
He always gets away with these tactical fouls. Oh, he's the master of dark arts.
And refreshingly frank opinion after all the action.
I don't know if they're as open as they were and as aggressive as they were.
The Monday Club, the sharpest minds in the business.
Elite level mentality.
Monday afternoon from 5.
On Talk Sport 2.
The Social, tomorrow afternoon from 3 on Talksport 2. An in-depth look at the biggest sports stories.
Bit of boxing, bit of horse racing, even a bit of rugby.
And it's a try!
And some phenomenal guests. If you can't get in this squad after showing the form he showed, I don't think it looks too good for him. This is the place to be.
It's The Social on Talksport 2.
Oh, that's a beauty, that's a ripper.
The Social,
tomorrow afternoon from 3.
It just works, doesn't it? On Talksport 2.
On Track, Tuesday afternoon from 2 on Talksport 2. Keep ahead of all the action in the world of motorsports.
He's shown that you don't need to win from pole position.
Extended hard-revving roundups, in-depth racing analysis, and big-name interviews.
If I'd gone 1.5 tenths slower, I would have been P10 on the grid. So it's so tight.
Talksport 2 rounds up the biggest stories and the latest racing rumors.
Championship points are more vital than ever.
On Track, Tuesday afternoon from 2 on Talksport 2.
Talksport Podcast League. Outspoken. The best of White and Jordan.
White versus Jordan. Now with added time.
Simon and I have a different sort of opinion on this, as we do on various things.
When the mics go live, the gloves come off.
That wasn't a proper fight. That was a tune-up.
Oh, no. Come on. Opinionated debate as Combat Sport.
And most of these teams have underachieved.
Outspoken.
Listen or download for free on the Talksport app.
My goodness, who could argue?
On your phone, on your smart speaker.
Or from your favourite podcast portal.
Passion, heartbreak, glory, despair, triumph.
And they're back in the game!
Europa League live.
What a finish!
On Talksport 2.
For Nottingham Forest, the waiting is over. European football back on home turf. Sims here towards the near post. Beck Sorensen and touched in. Dial has scored at the back post, and Nottingham Forest, in this long-awaited return to European football at home, are behind. Gibbs White is chasing, and he's onside. Two in the middle. Here comes a die. They haven't heard a roar like this at the City Ground in 3 decades!
Finished that first time, fantastic finish, fantastic response. Listen to that noise, 1-1.
Delivered in by Sims here, flicked on! Is it going to go in? It is! They've got another! It's been scrambled home inside the 6-yard box. Ange Postecoglou cannot believe it! Forest 1, Midtjylland 2. So it's Forest 1, Midtjylland 2 here at the City Ground on Talksport 2. Pouring rain here now in the East Midlands. Second half commentary to come very shortly. Elsewhere at half-time in Europe, Feyenoord 0, Aston Villa 0 on Talksport tonight. Sturm Graz 2. Rangers 0 is the latest score. Aberdeen have got an equaliser. Have conceded an equaliser at home to Shakhtar Donetsk. It's 1-1. And in League One tonight, Yorkshire Derby, Rotherham 1, Bradford City 0. Let's now, at half-time, bring you the latest odds with William Hill.
In the Zone on Talksport 2 with William Hill. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
Nottingham Forest to come back and win 17-10. Midtjylland to win at 8-5. The draw 2-1. And these are your price boosts. Both teams to score in the second half is 5-2. Elliot Anderson to score or assist 3-1. Philip Billing to be carded 11-4. That's all thanks to William Hill. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
In the Zone on Talksport 2 with William Hill. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
Second half underway. This game is brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football. We have a cracker for you on Talksport 2 in the EFL tomorrow night. It is Wrexham against Birmingham. Then on Saturday, Sheffield Wednesday face Coventry, who've had a great start to the season. Here's their fullback, Kane Kessler-Hayden, with Ian Abrahams.
Another 12:30 kickoff. You must forget what it's like playing at 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, but they're going really well so far. So I think it's just another game that we're looking forward to. Obviously at 12:30, it's a quick turnaround with the games, and we're just looking forward to the game and hopefully can get a result.
You scored your first goal on Wednesday at Coventry, at Millwall. You won 4-0. Everyone will say, right, you're going to Sheffield Wednesday, who have got a mountain of problems, which are none of your concern. Yeah. But you should win that game and go top of the table. So how do you put into your mind, right, we're going to treat this game exactly like we did the game at Millwall on Wednesday and the game last week with Birmingham?
Yeah. I think you seen when they played Birmingham in their last game, you know, they're still a tough opposition. I think everyone in the Championship is, and, you know, we're not winning these games off the other teams being bad. It's off us stick to our principles and, you know, going into every single game the same way, the same work ethic, and yeah, like I said, the same principles. And I think
that is Kane Kessler-Hayden, Coventry fullback, ahead of their game against Sheffield Wednesday on Saturday on your home of the EFL, Talksport 2. What a noise at the City Ground again. Forest 1, Midtjylland 2. Is there going to be a second half comeback on? Nottingham Forest attacking the Trent End in the second half in the Garibaldi red and white. And Midtjylland, white shirts, black shorts and white socks in the second period. In a very short half-time interval, actually. Under 15 minutes to be exact. No changes at half-time, it is worth saying. The referee is just waiting for approval from the fourth official, and the second half begins. Will Forest fight back, or are they still going to be looking for their first victory under Ange Postecoglou by the time the night is over? Joe Shannon and former Wolves goalkeeper Matt Murray, your commentary team here on Talksport 2. How do Forest get themselves back in it, man?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the half-time team talk was. You know that set pieces will definitely be mentioned. I wonder if there's going to be a tweak how they mark them. But I still think Jesus will be. We wondered would come on. I think we'll look at the hour mark and let's see.
Elliot Anderson tries to hustle and bustle down the left. Looked like a tug of the shirt from Castillo. Referee doesn't give the free kick. So both teams unchanged for the second half as Midtjylland clear high up into the dark night sky through Diao, and the rain getting heavier and heavier now. Forest sells in goal. No foul by Junior Bramado. In fact, it is given by the referee for a clumsy crunching challenge on Morato. Is he looking at the ball there, Junior Bramado, or does he glance down at the man?
I think Morato doesn't really get off the ground. I think that's the issue. If Morato goes and really attacks it. But look, the referee's given a foul. I certainly don't think it's a yellow card. But you can see that Midtjylland, they come again and they're going to press and they're going to try and, force Forest into mistakes. But that's what Forest have got to do, try and be composed, play around this press and try and test that goalkeeper more, because at the moment they haven't worked him enough.
Midtjylland have been very good. Anderson winning the ball back for Forest midway inside his own half the field. I will give you the two teams in just a moment. Again, quite a feisty and frenetic start to the second half. That's exactly how the entire game has been. Anderson loses out on halfway to Cho. Cho up the middle for Midtjylland towards the edge of the area. Only Mbabu really in immediate support. He crosses in right-footed and it's overhit. Semsir will try and reach it at the back post and he loses out to Dan and Doy, who scored Forest's first goal back in Europe at the City Ground in the first half. Big diagonal ball down the left and Diao clears under pressure from Hudson-Odoi. Nottingham Forest throw. Forest 1, Midtjylland 2. And we're nearly 2.5 minutes into the second period. Here come Forest in the red and white on the attack. Anderson out to the left-hand side. Hudson-Odoi in his long sleeves takes on the defender, lays it square, good ball. Gibbs White on the edge of the D. He's looked very sharp tonight, Hudson-Odoi. Gibbs White, the Forest captain. Number 10, out to the left, and Williams. They're attacking the Trent end in the second half. This is where Forest want to be. They wanted nights like this. Anderson with the shot! Just beyond the far post, a free shot, and he couldn't quite steer it inside the post, Matt Murray.
You were perfectly in line with that, weren't you, Joe? And I think you're just thinking, just make it come back a little bit more. For a goalkeeper, it's really hard when you've got bodies in your eye line. And sometimes the forwards just use those defenders as a guide, if you like, and they bend it round. But I still think Anderson, with the quality he has, feels he should be working the goalkeeper more. And very, very interesting there. Olafsson already has had that little warning, hasn't he, for time wasted.
Iceland international goalkeeper belts the ball long into Forest territory, and Forest have still got time to recover things, of course. The City Ground has not quite been the fortress that it was last season, though. The Forest left-back Williams has got the ball. They're definitely playing with a back four now, Nottingham Forest, and actually I think they look a bit more comfortable like that. Sells in goal, Savona, Milenkovic, Morato and Williams. Anderson on the ball now, Gibbs White and Sangare in the middle. Doy and Hudson-Odoi are playing very wide, as is the Postecoglou trademark, and Egor Jesus in the centre. Heavy touch in the centre circle by him. Sangare slides in though to win it back. Midtjylland, Olafsson in goal, Diallo, Ehrlich and Beck Sørensen at the centre halves, as Olafsson comes out of his area to head the ball clear, and then Beck Sørensen knocks it into touch. And Babu, Billing, Castillo and Back Jensen, with Junior Bramado, Cho and Simsir up front. Early ball in by Gibbs White, away by Ehrlich. The rain is teeming down now beneath the lights here on the banks of the River Trent. It's won back by Elliot Anderson, the number 8 in the middle of midfield. Gibbs White retrieves it for Forest. Centre circle back to Morato. Out to Nico Williams. Seeing more of the ball actually early in the second half, Nottingham Forest. Ange Postecoglou watches on, hands in pockets, about 20-30 rows of seats in front of us. 5 minutes into the second half and Igor Jesus loses the ball. Won back by Simsir. Not having his best night, Igor Jesus, at least so far.
Yeah, he hasn't been able to really keep the ball. He's not had any chances. I still think the joy is going to come from Hudson-Odoi. You say there how much width he keeps. He really stays out wide. But what I like is there's times when he runs at his defender. There's times when he goes on the outside, the inside. There's other times when he fed that clever ball into Elliot Anderson. Look, we saw him come through, didn't we, at Chelsea? And then he's a top player. He's a top player. He's really intelligent. And I think if Forest are going to get back into this, I can see it potentially coming from him.
Anderson forward to Nico Williams, inside left, Hudson-Odoi in space ahead of him. Williams continues and curls in a shot, and it's well handled by the goalkeeper. One bounce and into his chest. I don't know, Matt Murray, whether was he thinking there, Williams, that Hudson-Odoi might have just strayed offside? I'm not sure.
Maybe, because again, I think they have combined really well all evening, but that's where I thought there with Nico Williams, it would have been a really difficult shot on his right foot from that distance. It was a routine save in the end where I thought Hudson-Odoi was in a great position to be played in and then face it across into the body. So yeah, I think Nico Williams chose the wrong option there, but maybe Odoi was offside.
Lots of options for Forest on the bench, including Chris Wood. Hudson-Odoi scampers in field. Good way to pass into the penalty area towards Gibbs White. Just a little too much on it. Gathered by Olofsson. It's strange to say it because Ange Postecoglou, if they don't win tonight, it'll be played 6-1 none. But it does feel like you can see a lot of what he's trying to implement at Nottingham Forest, and a lot of the time it feels like it's really close to working. Here's Mbabu though for Midtjylland, surging into the penalty area, pulling it back across, cleared away by Savona in the 6-yard box. It's going to be a corner at the Bridgeford end.
Yeah, as you say, lots of positives from Forest, certainly entertaining, but they've still got to win games. And that, to be fair to Mbabu, he's been good, hasn't he? I like him. He carries the ball well. He's been good defensively, but he's got forward, put a ball into a really, really dangerous area there. Well cleared by Savona. But what is it now? Another dreaded set piece.
Close your eyes and turn off your radios, Forest fans. No, don't really. Stick with us on Talksport 2. It's a nervy moment. Delivered in by Simsim, away by Hudson-Odoi on the volley. Awkward clearance. It's a corner. My producer was furious with even joking about the idea. Football can be nervy in these kind of moments, and for Forest fans, set pieces are the thing that they're terrified of.
And I can't see them setting up any differently, can you, Forest? I still think they're still zonal how they were before.
Delivered in by Simsir into the near post, header away by Maratu. It certainly does look zonal there, and Maratu in a good position to head it clear. Throw to Midtjylland on the near side, the right, though, of course. Stick with us on Talksport 2, because there's a long way still to go. We're only 8 minutes into the second half. Feyenoord and Aston Villa live over on Talksport tonight, and that is still 0-0 in Rotterdam, a venue loved by Aston Villa supporters. Long throw by Mbabu, high towards the near post. Now, who was that last touch off? It looked like it did hit Milenkovic, skimmed off his head. Corner again, says the referee. And it's a very difficult point in the game, Matt Murray, because if Midtjylland were to get a third, that might be it for tonight for Forest.
Yeah, I think it really would be a long way back then, certainly to go and get the win. But Simsiri's got good delivery, hasn't he? I say my former teammate Mikel's described him a little bit like a Shaqiri sort of build.
Yep, he's stocky and with a good delivery into the penalty area. Header away by Maratu at the near post, drops to the left wing back Jensen, but he loses out to Odoi, and he charges forward now. Forest on the break, high ball downfield. Out comes the goalkeeper way outside his area to volley it clear. Headed down by Igor Jesus. Forest come forward again. He's a confident goalkeeper. Olofsson, tug of the shirt from Junior Bramado. Referee lets play go on, and Ange Postecoglou is out to the edge of the technical area, holding his shirt. Now a yellow card for Mbabu for a foul on Hudson-Odoi. He needs to get a grip, this referee, and quickly.
He certainly does, and Mbabu's obviously got the yellow card there, but before that, there was definitely a pull on the shirt. You could see it right out, and for me, that's a yellow card. And Mbabu, we talked about the sort of battle, if you like, between him and Hudson-Odoi, both back and forth, but now he's on that type. It's horrible when you're on a yellow card for defenders. If I was not in Forest now, I'd be saying keep giving the ball to Odoi. He's already given him a good run. Can you get that second yellow card? Because if you do, then that would really change the game.
Free kick left wing position taken short. Gibbs White square, plenty forward for Nottingham Forest in the red, from right to left, 2-1 down. Gibbs White into the area, skips in field, goes down, no penalty. Didn't look like it at first glance. One back by Hudson-Odoi, edge of the area with a curling shot deflected behind. Here comes a Nottingham Forest corner, and Diao, the defender, has gone down on the edge of the penalty area for Midtjylland. It's a little early to try and stop the rhythm of Nottingham Forest. He might have actually taken a ball to the head there, Diao. And here come the two physios, but there is a Forest corner to come as well, live on Talksport 2. And what an atmosphere, what a night. And we've even had Ange Postecoglou, Matt, frenetically tugging at his own shirt to show the referee you should have given a free kick.
Well, they should have, and luckily for probably the referee, they was able to give one straight away when Mbabu went into Hudson-Odoi. But it's going to be interesting now with this situation with Diao, because he's come out, hasn't he? And he's been really intelligent all night when he's decided to release and get blocks, and he's hit him on the side of the head. But we've seen that he can score goals, but also he's very good defensively. Surely he's not going to be allowed back on the pitch now. So that means,
no, he won't be.
Yeah, so Midtjylland now are going to be a man down, who's very, very important. Can Nottingham Forest exploit that?
He's got pace, hasn't he, Diao, as well? Anderson's right-footed out-swinging corner. Igor Jesus, header is blocked. And then the ball is cleared away as Milenkovic went to ground. Had to try and head that through a crowd of bodies, did Jesus. Better from Nottingham Forest. I think they've been the better team in the second half up to this point, but again, still, as we head towards the hour mark, not quite finding the route to goal that they so desperately need.
Totally agree. They've showed real urgency, they've showed quality. I think they've had more control and more in possession, if you like, putting the passes together. But like you said there, they've had a couple of efforts, but nothing seriously on target. They've got the booking now, but they have been good. I think they've reacted really, really well, responded well. But they just need to get it'd be great if they got that goal. I think they then just go on with the ascendancy.
2-1 down. Anderson carries the ball forward down the inside left. Hudson-Odoi further wide, hugging the touchline. Takes on Diao, who's back onto the pitch. They've got their full complement of 11 out, Midtjylland. One of the danger men, Dario Osorio, who's struggled with injury of late, is going to come on shortly. Gibbs White to Anderson, left corner of the area. A lot of space here for Nico Williams to cross, but it's not a bad delivery. Header away by Bak Jensen. Everybody behind the ball at the moment for the team in the white shirts, and here comes Osorio in place of Simsir, who has been a real threat in terms of the deliveries that he's produced. Aberdeen 1, Shakhtar Donetsk 2. Is the latest score. Aberdeen were ahead but now behind in the Conference League, and it's Rotherham 2, Bradford 1 in League 1 tonight. Bradford with a goal back. Feyenoord 0, Villa 0 on Talksport. Sturm Graz 2, Rangers 1. Rangers are back in it. And Crystal Palace winners at Dynamo Kyiv earlier in the Conference League. Celtic beaten by Braga in the Europa, and you're up to date. Close to an hour gone. First change of the game made by Midtjylland. And the ball well won back by Junior Bramado, who is a centre forward, but yet another huge physical presence in the Midtjylland team. Header down by Sangare, hooked away by Diao, up into the air. Gibbs White watches it drop over his shoulder. Good ball by Billing down the middle, just a little too much on it. Sells had a good starting position anyway, the goalkeeper out to clear. And Babu wins it back on the halfway line. And Babu darting forward, and Sangare makes a well-timed challenge. And it's a throw to Nottingham Forest. And Forest, are they starting to win those battles that we talked about, Matt Murray? They've given it away nearly. Sangare then wins it back. They were fortunate there. But are they starting to win, in large part, those battles?
I think Sangare's been excellent, but we felt in the first half that Midtjylland were winning the midfield stuff. But now I feel Forest are definitely starting to stamp their authority there. Obviously, Anderson's lost it, but I do feel that definitely Forest have been better in possession. It's going to be interesting, isn't it, with this Osorio, whether he can hit Forest on the counter-attack. That's why I do think they brought him on.
It's breathless attacking play from Nottingham Forest, but again without seriously testing the Midtjylland goalkeeper at the moment. You have to credit Midtjylland, they only had about 48 hours of actual preparation time. The head coach has been booked, Mike Tulberg, for, I think he was suggesting that Anderson should have been yellow carded for a foul. Tulberg is screaming at the referee. He's a former Borussia Dortmund reserve team manager. Of course, the training ground for a number of world-class coaches over the years. And Babu down the right-hand side is blocked off, and Nottingham Forest have it back. Williams over halfway. Early ball down the near side, the left. Hudson-Odoi with a weaving run. Taking on Jiao, who's backing off. Hudson-Odoi on the outside. Clips in the cross. Nobody there. It felt perfect for Wood had he been on the pitch. He's on the bench at the moment. Forest 2-1 down. Savona delivers. Jesus! And the touch off the defender. Good goalkeeping by Olofsson. Watches it drop high into his gloves and he prevents the corner.
I'd like to see that one back where Hudson-Odoi puts that cross in, because I just felt that Igor Jesus was just on his heels a little bit. He didn't gamble, he reacted, and he was just that slightly bit too late. The second time he comes in, yes, he gets across his marker, but that was a chance for Forest.
Great ball, Williams. Hudson-Odoi cuts it back. Anderson edge of the area. Back out wide. Hudson-Odoi back towards Anderson and cleared away by Ehrlich. Chris Wood out to warm up. The rest of the Forest bench, by the way. I think there's is there an offside here? Yeah, there is. Free kick Midtjylland. Rest of the Forest bench: Wood, Kalimuendo, Dominguez, Yates, McAtee, Bakwa, Bolly, Abbott, and the goalkeeper John Victor. It's a lot of attacking options for Ange Postecoglou.
Yeah, sooner or later. I really think it looks like Wood is starting to warm up a little bit more vigorously, and I think he's got to make that change. I really, really do, and I think Chris Wood would be the one I'd be bringing on straight away.
The rain has stopped here. Ange Postecoglou watching on with hands in his pockets. We're in the Peter Taylor Old Main stand with a couple of pillars in the way. As Matt was saying, so much character and storied history about this stadium, and it's compact and tight, and the fans are close to the pitch. I hope they never leave. I hope they just redevelop it and don't move anywhere else, because it's a beautiful ground. Forward by Gibbs White between the lines to Anderson. More good football from Nottingham Forest, but Anderson can't find Hudson-Odoi. Is there still much for Nottingham Forest to be positive about, Matt, over an hour gone?
Yeah, I think there is. I think the change of systems definitely helped them. I think they're getting on the ball well. They're moving it much more quickly, and I think Midtjylland are struggling to get up against them as well. They've defended the set plays that came in their box a lot better this time. But as you said there, the biggest thing is they haven't seen the whites of the goalkeeper's eyes.
Still got the best part of half an hour to go. And now Igor Jesus, he tried to knock it through the legs of Philip Billing, who said, no thank you, forward to the halfway line. Cho can't get it under control. Junior Bramado is not afraid to put himself about and put tackles in. They've got it back, Nottingham Forest, and now they have it with Morata. At the moment, flat back five for the away team. 5 big, strong and technically capable defenders for Nottingham Forest to have to try and play beyond. Gibbs White needed to change with Ndoi, surging down the right into the penalty area now. Dan Ndoi twisting, turning, still keeping his feet, cutting it back, and it's gone behind for a corner. Wonderful play from the Swiss winger.
Really good, direct, and as you're saying there, they're forcing the wing backs of Midtjylland right back, into a flat back five, but the way he just puts the brakes on there, Dan Ndoi comes in, but it's really, really intelligent defending from I think it's Ehrlich, just to know to step out and block it.
Anderson's corner headed away. Good jump by Junior Bramado at the near post, because it looked like Gibbs White was going to get there first. Throw to Forest, having a lot more possession in the second half, it feels like anyway. Level with the edge of the 18-yard area. 64 minutes gone. It's now at the feet of Nico Williams. Williams forward of the centre circle. Square ball. Sangaré darts away from the onrushing substitute Osorio, and then a foul by Osorio. Free kick to Nottingham Forest. Pretty much dead centre, but about 30-35 yards out. Is it worth a shot, or will it be delivered into the box, Matt Murray?
And it is that sort of range where when you're in goal, you do need to set up a little wall, and it's hard for you to come and, because you don't want to get done with a shot, but you also, I feel that Olofsson's protected the space very well, coming from through balls and other crosses, but it's a hard one to be too high. Oh, they're taking it short.
To Sangaré, who does hit it! And it's not far wide. Real pace and power on that drive. And a screamer from Sangaré, who's never scored for Nottingham Forest and wasn't too far away.
And it was like no backlift, was it? It was just sort of, he had his hands on his hips, and then he gets knocked to him, one touch and like bang, and it was absolutely travelling, nearly a worldy strike.
Beck Sørensen lost the ball on halfway, and in fairness to him, he's nudged it over the halfway line. Beck Sørensen with the long hair. At the moment, he's scored the winner, but it's all Nottingham Forest from right to left in the second half. Can they capitalise upon that, though? Here on Talksport 2, triple change coming up for the visitors, who lead 2-1. And Doy down the right, low ball in! Tucked wide. Igor Jesus was at the near post, and so too was Savona, who I think got the last touch and couldn't turn it in.
What's he doing up there? But yeah, he's got there. Yeah, it was a difficult chance, a hard chance. But Dan and Doy now, isn't it? A lot of it's coming down this right-hand side. Difficult chance, but I still think you've got to get Chris Wood on. I really, really do. These are balls that he thrives off, and he came close at the weekend. I just feel Chris Wood, is he coming to the bench now? I think it's going to be a change.
I think he's on shortly. Here are the changes for the away side. And Pedro Bravo is going to come onto the field. Lee will replace Mbabu. I think it's Daniel Castillo who's also going off. And the other change is going to see Cho leave the field in place of Valdemar Biskov Andreasen. So that's Bravo, Lee and Biskov Andreasen onto the field, with Mbabo, Cho and Castillo going off for Midtjylland, who still lead by 2-1 as we approach the final quarter of this game. Not long for Ange Postecoglou if he is going to make Forest changes as well. It does feel like they've missed an orthodox number 9 in this second half. Junior Bramado for Midtjylland, square into the feet of the substitute Pedro Bravo, wide near side to Diao to cross over the head of Junior Bramado, but the chance is still on for Back Jensen, who couldn't reach it at the back post. Now Osorio, square to Pedro Bravo again, and now Philip Billing, about 35 yards from goal. Danger for Nottingham Forest here. Chance for the cross into the penalty area by Biskov Andreasen, and it's turned out to play by Savona, and the 168 Midtjylland fans are jumping for joy, Matt Murray, in one corner of the ground.
They're having a right party over there, aren't they? They're loving, and by the way, rightly so. Their side have been excellent, and I think he's used the bench well, Tulberg, because Mbabu want to book in and stuff like that, and they needed fresh legs on the pitch.
Long throw, Beck Sørensen into the penalty area. Ehrlich went near post. It's hit the Nottingham Forest defender, gone out of play for a corner. Well, this is a nervy time in the game now for Forest, having had plenty of territory and shown plenty of attacking intent, but without really it culminating in clear-cut chances. And it will be so frustrating for them if they do lose this game, but tonight has reminded everybody there are no straightforward games in European football.
It's really, really tough, and rightly so. These are some very, very good sides in Europe.
Biskov Andreasen with a right-footed in-swinging corner into the near post, headed away by Gibbs-White, further cleared by Ndoye. Deal with the initial phase well enough to Nottingham Forest, and actually Osorio might as well let it trickle out of play for a throw. And the visitors have slowed the game down, and they've got Forest really where they want them. Remember, they have beaten Manchester United in the past. They have failed to win any of their other 3 prior matches against English opponents. Square ball by Beck Sørensen, who gets it back on the near side from Pedro Bravo, steers it infield, the substitute. Osorio scampers away from Ndoye, rolls it to the right, he's giving it away. Here come Forest, counter-attacking now with Gibbs-White perhaps. He's still 10 yards shy of halfway. Midtjylland working hard to get plenty back behind the ball. Early ball in by Sangare, and that is going to drop easily for the goalkeeper. Emi Buendia has given Aston Villa the lead in Rotterdam. Feyenoord 0, Aston Villa 1. Live commentary tonight on Talksport. Emi Buendia, the goal scorer. Sturm Graz 2, Rangers 1, still a latest score. Aberdeen 2, Shakhtar Donetsk 3. And Nottingham Forest 1, Midtjylland 2, with just over 20 minutes to go. And those substitutes seem to have just settled Midtjylland back into the game, Matt Murray.
Yeah, and Diao's come out, isn't he? Right wing back, if you like, and he's doing that job. But again, talking about Chris Wood, I feel he would give Nottingham Forest something different. We talked about how physical this defensive line is of Midtjylland, and Chris Wood will be able to get up against them. You can sometimes mix it up a little bit, go long and pick up seconds. I just feel that Forest need to make the change. The Midtjylland ones have definitely had an impact, taking the sting out of the game. I just feel it's crying out for Forest to do something different now.
Well, we've got the fans in front of us, and I think one of them was shouting exactly the same thing. And I did overhear on the concourses, one or two in the break, saying that it needed changes. It doesn't feel like they played too badly, but now there's a bit of a lull in the tempo in the second half, and the atmosphere's quietened down. Sells under a bit of pressure, finds Savona, who drives the ball high and long to the halfway line. Chested down by Gibbs-White, steers it wide to Dan and Doy. Can he get beyond Beck Sørensen? He's tried to run onto his own touch, and that's a brilliant sliding tackle from the defender.
Excellent, and fair play to Dan and Doy, it was positive, but Beck Sørensen, he's been really, really good tonight, hasn't he? He's marshalled it well, obviously played a part in the goals, but really, really good from him.
Hudson-Odoi on the outside left for Nottingham Forest, less than 20 minutes to go now. Nico Williams, left edge of the D, thought about a curling shot, back out wide to Hudson-Odoi, everybody back for Midtjylland. Hudson-Odoi goes on the outside, dead ball line, clips in the cross, brilliant delivery, only half away, and the header from Igor Jesus wouldn't have counted anyway, didn't go near the goal. Referee thought there was a foul at the back post. Great work by Hudson-Odoi. Once again, it just feels like Forest fans all around the stadium and listening on Talksport 2 will be saying, well, if Chris Wood's there, that might end up in the back of the net.
Yeah, and by the way, Victor Back Jensen, how good was
great
that?
Header, great header.
Textbook defending. You are in the width of your goal. You've got to make sure you're covering round. He got up, but he's got the two hands in his back. Really good defending. But exactly what you said. Hudson-Odoi stands them up. That's, what is it, food and drink, meat and drink for Chris Wood. He loves that to come up and power those headers in. And I just think they need a bit more energy now for us as well to match what Midtjylland are doing.
Foul by Jesus on halfway and a yellow card. I think there's is it getting to the point now, Matt, not far off 15 minutes to go, where if they leave it much longer, it just feels baffling to me.
It doesn't look. Ange Postecoglou is an experienced manager, he knows what he's doing, but you're looking at it and you're thinking, you've got to come and get something out of the game. Maybe you'd rather lose it 3-1, but at least have a go, because at this moment in time, it's not working. I feel that Midtjylland have weathered the storm well. Oh, here we go. So I can now see that red shirt there, which is of Chris Wood, and he's getting his instructions. But I just feel it has to happen.
Big Chris Wood, whose 20 goals last season helped get Forest in this position in the first place, is going to come on. And not before time, I don't think, for many of the Nottingham Forest fans. 17 minutes remain on Talksport 2. Feyenoord 0, Aston Villa 1 on Talksport. 03717 223344 for the sports bar. Once we're done at the City Ground here tonight on Talksport. Here is Sangare, square to Anderson. Anderson is about 35 yards from goal. Wide left, Hudson-Odoi. Early ball towards Anderson again. Defender had to nudge it away. That's Lee, who's just come on. Lee standing in the right corner flag area now. Diao, they play it calmly up through the thirds here to Midtjylland, although then Junior Bramado has been shrugged off the ball. Wood is ready, wearing that red shirt and the number 11. He'll be on in a moment. Free kick to Forest. Surely they get him on now for the set-piece delivery. The 6'5" New Zealander. And his name's being chanted by the Nottingham Forest fans around us. Off goes Igor Jesus, who gets a good hand from the supporters.
He's worked hard, hasn't he? But it's just not quite happened for him. But Chris Wood, as you say, coming on, can that provide a bit of confusion as well? Can they quickly get on enough? Who's picking him up? But really, really good opportunity now to deliver that ball in.
Free kick, left wing position near side, little tap from Hudson-Odoi to Gibbs-White. Reverse ball back to Hudson-Odoi, left edge of the area. Now Gibbs-White surges into the box, and he tried to pull it back, and the goal kick is given, and that does feel as even Postecoglou turns away frustrated, like a missed opportunity, and Chris Wood's actually gone over and had a quick word with Hudson-Odoi. It may not have been about that, but did feel like a missed opportunity, man.
It did, and they actually looked like they worked it well, but it's uncharacteristic from Gibbs-White for that heavy touch, wasn't it? And then he ran out of play. If he'd have been able to keep it in control, maybe they'd have whipped the ball across, but I imagine Chris Wood just gave Hudson-Odoi a few instructions there from the bench, but it's going to be I think it's going to be a good finish now, an exciting finish, and Chris Wood will be desperate for something to drop for him.
Here we go, quarter of an hour to go plus added time. Nottingham Forest 1, Midtjylland 2. The Danish team have been very impressive, so full of energy and incredibly well drilled. Midtjylland. Williams on the halfway line. He actually sacked the previous head coach after a 17-game unbeaten run because the underlying numbers were not up to scratch, supposedly. So they demand plenty. Here come Forest with Gibbs-White. Back to Milenkovic. His socks rolled down his shins now. Dan and Doy back to goal, 25 yards out. Tries to play it back to Sangaré, and he's outmuscled by Junior Bramado. Charging forward on the counter. Was that a foul by the retreating Gibbs-White? It was. Yellow card out of the pocket of the referee. Those yellow cards seem to have come at quite random times in the game tonight. I'm not saying it was the wrong decision, but it just feels as though there's not been a consistency there.
Yeah, I agree. He gave one really early on in the game, didn't he? And then he let a few things go. And Morgan Gibbs-White, bit of a frustrated one, but I do think Bramado has been really, really good, and he was intelligent play there, just to carry it, wait for the contact, and then slows the game down again.
There'll be no win in 6 under Ange Postecoglou if it stays like this, even if Forest, of course, score the next goal. 77th minute, Midtjylland lead, and here is Biskov Andreasen in the penalty area, tried to steer it square. It was cleared away at the vital moment by Morata. Now Lee, forward to Pedro Bravo, number 19. He suddenly strides forward and then plays in Biskov Andreasen with the cross to the right, and that one's over hit. Suddenly there were gaps at the back for Nottingham Forest. Bournemouth, Fulham, Wrexham, Birmingham, live on the network tomorrow. Just download our free app and you can swipe between our stations as and when you need. Leeds, Spurs, Sheffield Wednesday, Coventry, Derby, Southampton on Saturday. Hudson-Odoi away down the left, trying to jink away from Diao, who pokes out a leg to turn the ball away. Back they come, Nottingham Forest. Nico Williams, left corner of the penalty area. 25 yards out into a central area. Square to Gibbs-White. They're desperate for an equaliser here. Nottingham Forest. As Savona darts infield. Wood with a little touch. Here's the chance for Doy. Twists, turns, plays it backwards rather than shooting. And Billing is there and they clear away Midtjylland. That was the chance in front of the Trent end, but there might be another coming up shortly. 12 to go. Anderson inside left, wide to Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi pulls it back. Williams to hit one, turned away. Anderson and Wood. He scored, but the flag is up. He thought it was his moment off the bench. Chris Wood tapping home from a yard out. But it isn't the equaliser that Forest are just aching for.
Who do you think's offside? Do you think it's actually Wood, or do you think it's when the rebound drops out or comes off the goalkeeper? I'm just trying to have a look here. I think Anderson's offside.
Yeah.
So I think it's Anderson who then, when the keeper saves it, he puts the ball back across. Wood is onside. I think it's Elliot Anderson who's in the offside position.
Good call, Matt Murray. He was. And a good spot by the officials as well. Anderson was offside. He actually completely mishit what I assume was meant to be a shot. Wood bundled it in, but I think Wood, he didn't really celebrate. He saw what was coming.
But again, you're seeing it's positive, the strike. But Dan and Doy, what about him when he went through? And I thought the ball dropped him. Yes, the keeper's on him quickly, but I just thought he'd maybe lift it over him, push it past him, and then end up playing back. But still, more positive. It's positive play for Nottingham Forest. But good opportunities, but I think it's a correct decision, isn't it, from the officials?
Doing the Poznan, the Midtjylland fans, and a lot of them have taken their own shirts off now, waving their shirts in the air, not even watching the game. Lovely flick by Nico Williams down the left-hand side. Forest still 2-1 down there. Wood's goal would never have counted because of the offside in the build-up. Morata wins the ball back in front of the Forest technical area, near side of the field, right in front of us. Well, just over 10 minutes to go. What have they got, Nottingham Forest here?
Those that are going to have a great night out after this if their team win, aren't they?
I think they are regardless, aren't they? Hudson-Odoi darting down the left again. Dead ball line, pulls it back, low along the ground, cleared away by Osorio. And a clever touch actually out to the right-hand side by Biskov Andreasen, but it's hit Junior Bramado and gone out of play. Forest with Anderson stretching to play it back to Sangaré. Sangaré suddenly strides forward a couple of extra yards. 35 yards out. What a pass! Wood angle tight! No problem! Oh, but the flag is up again! He put it away so beautifully. After a wonderful slide rule pass. He thought it was 2-2 this time, but it's not. And that's twice now. Wood denied by the offside flag, and he is marginally offside.
Correct decision. I mean, that's a really difficult finish. A really good ball from Sangaré. I wondered, could he have played a little bit quicker, but probably not. Good movement from Wood. He comes short and then spins his body position to open up and receive the pass, and then a touch and a fantastic slot past such a big goalkeeper. But again, the correct decision. But you can see why he's come onto the pitch, and straight away he's just been a real threat and just lifted the whole side, the whole stadium. Maybe might be third time lucky for him.
Well, maybe they are living a bit dangerously here now, Midtjylland, for the first time really in the game. 9 minutes left. 2 goals ruled out correctly, and still 2-1 down the home team. Callum Hudson-Odoi, number 7, down the left, shuffles infield. Great reverse ball to Gibbs White to pull it across. Turned behind by the defender. Back Jensen with nerves of steel. Otherwise, Odoi would have made it 2-2.
Textbook defending again at the back post, because that combination play is brilliant. When you've got an organised defence like this, you have to move the ball quickly. Good movement. Really good defending right at the back post, though.
What a game on Talksport 2. Anderson's corner headed away by Junior Bramado, thumping header away at the near post. Forest attacking the Trent end. Williams on the halfway line, thought about going backwards, and he's turned away tirelessly from Biskov Andreasen. 2-0 to Aston Villa at Feyenoord live on Talksport right now. Chris Wood in the penalty area, cleared away by Lee. Coming across at the vital moment, and away by Beck Sørensen. You do wonder whether sooner rather than later one of these little ricochets is going to fall for Forest.
Yeah, maybe drop for them, but it's Chris Wood, the positions he takes up, he's just such a good focal point, isn't he? He's just a classic number 9. He's really good at what he does.
You're left wishing he'd come on earlier. John McGinn got the second goal for Aston Villa, another European goal for John McGinn, having scored the winner against Bologna last week. So Villa in front, Forest trailing. And the sports bar to come on Talksport. 03717 22344. Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Chris Wood is waiting as Gibbs White darts forward, tries to poke it into the area, deflected away, comes out to the right. Savona hangs up a cross, and it's not really a great one. Away by Bravo, nodded down by Milenkovic towards the edge of the box and cleared by Philip Billing. A little bit of respite for Midtjylland, who have got a free kick for a late challenge off the ball by Anderson, I think it was, and a deserved free kick. Ange Postecoglou puts his hands to his head, and 1 or 2 Nottingham Forest supporters are now heading for the exits with, I make it, 6.5 minutes of normal time left. Can you see them getting an equaliser, Matt Murray? It sort of feels like they've done almost everything but score.
I wouldn't be leaving if I was a Forest fan, I'll tell you. No, I think that Chris Wood's come on, he's had an impact. You'd like to believe that they're going to at least get one more big chance. There's going to be a fair bit of stoppage time for all the substitutions. So, I think there's still plenty to play.
Diao for Midtjylland, right corner of the penalty area, plays it forward. Osorio is blocked off fairly by Sangaré, who has been utterly tireless and I feel has had a brilliant second half in particular. The ball is cleared upfield by Milenkovic. This game is brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football. Rotherham 2, Bradford 2. Bradford flying high in League One, and they've come back from at 2-0 down to level. Here is Anderson in the centre circle. Anderson now for Nottingham Forest. It's not over yet, but do they have the belief that they can get back level? It finished 2-2 against Real Betis last week. Hudson-Odoi down the left. Another good cross. Headed away at the near post, and the goalkeeper's going to claim that. High up into the air. Good goalkeeping from Olofsson. He doesn't go to ground, but he does slow it down a bit, Matt.
I just don't. I'd be lying on the floor now if I was in, winding up those fans in the Trent End. But good defending again, though, wasn't it, from Midtjylland?
Back headed by Morato to Sells. So it's Newcastle away on Sunday for Nottingham Forest. Then a home game against Chelsea. So it doesn't get much easier for Nottingham Forest at the moment. They really need that first win, don't they?
They do, and there's 2 tough games. And I was thinking that while I was watching this, I bet Newcastle are loving how hard Nottingham Forest are having to work and thinking, you got to come all the way up to us, and we'll give you a run around as well. But they do. They just want that off. Look, again, loads of positives to take, but at this moment in time, they've not got, they're not even going to get a draw.
Dan and Doy, right wing position, far side of the field. Midtjylland with virtually everybody back, and Doy plays it backwards to Sangaré. Ball into the penalty area. Gibbs White denied by the goalkeeper. So quick to control, and he's a big goalkeeper all of a sudden. He got his chest behind it there.
Yeah, and I think when you've got Chris Wood there and he's disrupting people, then that's where Gibbs White comes and gets in his pockets and can work, go into those spaces. Really, really good turn, take, tight angle. Olofsson stands big, and it's a good save, it's a smart save, but Gibbs White's been excellent.
Plenty forward in red, everybody back for the team who lead. Midtjylland, 4 minutes to go. Delivered in by Anderson, header away by Philip Billing. They have defended superbly, Midtjylland, in this game.
They showed a bit of everything. I think they've showed some real quality at times, really good set plays, desire, they've worked hard. I think they've used the bench well in defending at the back stick. So it's been a really, really sort of, which they knew they'd have to do. So I think it's been a good shift so far, but fingers crossed, with the English hat on, Forest can get back into this.
Well, you certainly wouldn't begrudge Midtjylland the victory, because from 1 to 11, they have turned up tonight, and then some. Off goes Junior Bramado, and here comes, arguably, Matt, we were talking about him before the game, their most dangerous forward player, Francolino, who has got a brilliant record since coming through the system and becoming a senior player, and it's 9 goals in 17 this season.
Yeah, 9 goals in 17, some big bids waved away by all accounts again,
yes,
when you're chatting to people. So yeah, we thought we'd see him start tonight, so that was a bit of a surprise on the score sheet, but he'll want to come on and have an impact.
Here's a chance for Nico Williams into the penalty area, cross into the box, and it's hit Ehrlich on the back. Corner to Nottingham Forest.
He's good, isn't he, Ehrlich? There's times when he knows when to take the space, when to go with the man, but good defending.
Corner's taken short, and Hudson-Odoi has lost it, and there's trouble here. It's 3 against 1. Postecoglou's got his hands to his head. Here come Midtjylland on the counter to seal it. Biskov Andresen through the middle. He has sealed it. Midtjylland have surely won it now, and the boos at the City ground tell you all you need to know. Ange Postecoglou cannot believe it. His hands are glued to the back of his head. It'll be 6 without a win for the new Nottingham Forest head coach, and they collapse there. And Biskov Andresen was the man put through on goal, steered it beyond Matt Sells, with the Forest back line nowhere to be seen. Forest think there was a foul on Hudson-Odoi in the build-up, but as it stands, it is 3-1 to Midtjylland, and the chant from the Nottingham Forest fans, a resounding chant of sacked in the morning. That is what the Nottingham Forest fans think of their new head coach. 6 games in charge, and that felt like a sizable portion of the City ground crowd chanting against Ange Postecoglou. The pressure builds greatly. This game is surely over, Matt Murray.
Oh, the game's over now, and by the way, those fans in the corner were celebrating, the bench was celebrating down, but you talked about 1 to 11, but I think all the subs have come on and had a really, really big impact as well, haven't they? They've come on, they've worked hard, they've showed quality, And that was a counter-attack of the highest quality. The bodies, the desire, recognised to get forward. They nicked it, the ball off Hudson-Odoi. I don't think it's a foul. Then they broke. The running was brilliant. Nothing to slow it down. The pass and the finish from Andreas. And then Sell stands no chance, but you're quite rightly so. That was a bit toxic, really, wasn't it, how the fans did?
It was an unexpected reaction, Matt, because they've been very supportive tonight, haven't they? But their frustrations have emerged as Anderson crosses. It's cleared away. Sacked in the morning. The chant of the Nottingham Forest fans, and some of them, as we have 5 minutes of added time, crossed into the penalty area towards Anderson. He goes down. It's cleared away by Midtjylland. Some of them were really screaming it with venom at their own manager, and some of them were pointing at Postecoglou. Well, they want him out, some of the Forest fans. And Doy with a low effort, turned behind by Olofsson. I don't know whether this performance has really merited that sort of chanting. It does feel like it's somewhat come out of the blue, but the reaction at full time is going to be interesting.
You know, when you're watching this back, that kick
was it
on,
a handball
I
or
think it's
foul
a kick on. I think it's
Anderson?
a kick on Elliot Anderson's leg. I mean, if I watch that back, I think it's Zhao who's come over, and I think he might get sent to the screen here. Or is he going to play?
You're right. I think he's in conversation, isn't he, the referee, with the VAR?
I think it's a foul. I think the ball's come in and he's kicked the leg of Elliot Anderson. But yeah, he's getting sent over, and I'm not surprised. I watched it back.
This will probably be a penalty then for a foul on Anderson, right on the edge of the box. Late challenge, and I think it was Ousmane Diaw who stuck out a leg, and he's going to watch it on the monitor, the referee. But usually in this situation, we know what's coming. We are a minute and a half into added time, and Forest will have a penalty. They're 3-1 down, but a chance at least for some late Forest hope.
And Chris Wood will take it, but I watched it the first time I saw it, penalty. Straight over to the monitor, yeah, penalty. And I can understand why he didn't give it in normal time. But yeah, it's a correct decision. Oh, Gibbs White's going to take. Is Gibbs White, or he's got the ball under his arm? Okay, I thought Chris Wood was the penalty taker. Oh no, he's going to pass it on.
Here he comes.
Sucked me in a treat there, but look, I think it's probably going to be too late. But there's a lot of fans that have already left. You back him to score it against a big goalkeeper. If he does, then maybe they can get back into it. But I'm back with you, Joe. I was very surprised at the reaction of the fans. 3
of the 5 added minutes to go. If Forest are to get anything, this must go in from Wood. Penalty against the goalkeeper Olofsson. Wind billowing his red shirt. Here goes Wood, right-footed, and he scores. Goalkeeper dives to his right. Wood went the other way. Nottingham Forest 2, Midtjylland 3.
Look, never in doubt, and he gets that ball, doesn't he? Quickly, just runs, puts the ball on the spot. Can we get one more opportunity? Will this put a bit of nervousness now, a bit of doubt into this Midtjylland team? A little bit harsh maybe, but I think it is a penalty by the letter of the law. And hopefully these fans that have stayed will be able to get behind the team. Calm penalty. You know, and I think, and that's the one thing that I would like to hear what Ange Postecoglou says, why he didn't make the change earlier. And look, he's the manager, he knows his team, but the impact Chris Wood's had has showed why he should have been on earlier for me.
So, Forest just a goal down again. 2 minutes to go in added time. 3-2 to Midtjylland. And in the context of the league phase broadly, 1 point from 2 matches and some tough games to come. Forest's hopes of qualifying will certainly have taken a hit tonight. It's a throw to Midtjylland with Diaw ready to take it. Near side the right, and he's going to be booked. Time wasting.
And he won't care one bit.
Here's an opportunity down the Midtjylland right for a cross into the area. It's going to be cleared away now by Milenkovic, who actually holds on to the ball and plays in Savona down the right. Well, 1 minute and 20 to go. Is Ange Postecoglou going to see his team save a point and maybe spare him from another furious reaction? 3-2 down, Nottingham Forest on Talksport 2. Scoop long by Sangaré towards Wood, headed away. Drops down towards Anderson on the edge of the D. Anderson rolls it wide. Callum Hudson-Odoi, plenty forward. Chris Wood can't get to it. Drops on the edge of the penalty area. No way through for Gibbs White. There's a Midtjylland player down. I think it's Ehrlich. Referee hasn't stopped it. He'll have to, Willie Delageant. He has to, because the player's holding the back of his head. So nothing the referee can do there. There's 30 seconds to go, and presumably the 30-40 seconds will be added on.
It's fine, isn't he? He's a little arm to the head, and clever play again. I bet he doesn't need treatment. They stopped the play, and look, it's a bit of gamesmanship. They're going to give the ball back to Nottingham Forest, but they have broken up the play. You called this.
You can understand it.
You said it right from the start, didn't you? There's little bits, fouls, this, that.
They're the more streetwise team, aren't they?
Yeah, that was the word you used, and I think that's been shown. And maybe Nottingham Forest, because they haven't been in Europe for a while. But Midtjylland have used they've showed a bit of everything tonight for me. But let's see if Forest can get that one more big chance.
Added time on added time. We've had the 5 minutes. Sangare, crossfield, controlled by Milenkovic. He's playing up front now. Elliot Anderson, right-footed shot in the end it turned into, gathered well by the goalkeeper. Good hands, man.
Yeah, really, really good pickup. It's in, it's low, he's come, he's protected that space again. It's a clean pickup. No doubt now he's going to get his team up and boot as far as he can.
Well, this is probably it. All eyes on the referees. Had a look at the watch. Forest are 3-2 down, with some terrible defending a feature tonight, and they might be about to concede again. It's the substitute, steers it wide. Francolino, and the offside flag was up anyway. But I don't think there's any time for Forest to take the free kick, is there?
I thought he was going to be offside. A bad miss, but maybe can they lump it up the pitch one more time?
They've got to go long. The referee nearly put his whistle to his lips there. 6 minutes of added time played. It still doesn't go long. Savona midway inside the Midtjylland half. Out to the right, Damandoy raiding down the right wing, back to Savona, first time right-footed cross, punched away brilliantly by the goalkeeper, miscued clearance by Osorio, hacked away by Midtjylland, still the whistle doesn't go. Midtjylland have got every right, I think, to complain here, although it is always a minimum of added time. Delivered in by Anderson, headed away. And boos ring around the city ground as Nottingham Forest's return to European football on home soil ends in defeat. And there was a furious reaction from the Forest fans towards Ange Postecoglou after they conceded that third and ultimately telling goal. Sacked in the morning was the chant of large numbers of the home support. Nottingham Forest still without a win under their new head coach. 6 games now for Ange Postecoglou, no victories, and despite lots of promising attacking intent and endeavour tonight, his team once again cannot defend set pieces. Midtjylland have come here and done a job on Forest tonight. Diao, Beck Sørensen and the substitute Valdemar, Biskov and Andreasen with the 3 goals. And Doy and Wood with a late penalty for Nottingham Forest, but it wasn't enough, and it has finished. Nottingham Forest 2, Wolves 3, and the ripple of applause now from the home supporters. The reaction is a little more positive here at the very end, but it does, whether you like it or not, already feel like Ange Postecoglou is under a bit of pressure. What are your thoughts, Matt Murray?
Well, listen to that reaction of the third goal, and that's 6 games, isn't it, without a win. It's a defeat as well, and you talked about it there with the league table. This will be a game that, look, no one's entitled or anything like that, but it'll certainly be a game when you looked at the fixtures that Nottingham Forest will have earmarked to think we should be getting maximum points in this game. So were there positives to take? Yes, there were. Forest played some really, really good stuff. They kept going, they created chances, it was really entertaining, but from set plays all night, especially in the first half, they looked very, very vulnerable. I felt in the second half they had more control, but the manner of the first 2 goals they conceded weren't great. The reaction to going behind the first time, brilliant goal from Dan and Doy, and the ball across and Morgan Gibbs-White. But as much as they huffed and they puffed, I still feel that Ange Postecoglou, look, if you get a result, you can't be questioned, but when you don't get a result and you're 2-1 down and you've got Chris Wood on the bench and you don't make that change, and then he has the impact he does, people are going to look at that. So yeah, he needs that win. It's going to be a really, really tough game up at Newcastle, but that reaction, there's some fans here applauding them, but there's a lot of empty seats, but that reaction on the third goal really surprised me.
It was very loud, wasn't it, Matt? And it wasn't a small number of a couple of hundred. It was what felt like to us the whole of the main stand and a lot of the Forest fans who are the most vocal sit in the Bridgeford end, and they were not happy. And Ange Postecoglou still hasn't left the pitch yet. Going to be interesting to see the reaction he gets at the end here. He's walking towards the near side. Most of the City ground is emptied now, and it's not quite as vociferous as it was earlier. There were boos at the whistle. I didn't hear any chants at the whistle, but after the third goal from Midtjylland, the Nottingham Forest fans turned their fury on their manager. And now Postecoglou applauds, and the reaction is largely warm, but there are boos. There are boos. You can hear them now as he walks down the tunnel. Ange Postecoglou. I mean, Matt Murray, look, whether you like it or not, whether anyone likes it or not, 6 games in, 6 games. He came to the club less than a month ago, but the way football is these days, is he already under pressure?
I think, well, the way football is these days, yeah. I mean, if you think, although he won the trophy with Tottenham, there were still question marks around Ange Postecoglou with the league form, but he did win the trophy, which in a way sort of fixed everything in a way at Spurs for me.
Yeah.
Because the fans loved that. But Paul talked about it in the build-up. This is a this Nuno team was loved. It was revered. That's why they got into Europe. So he's come in. He's tried to play a different way. Definitely entertaining, but you have to get results. And there was all that expectation, that feel before the night. And these fans have come in thinking, we want to win. We've got to win here. And when that third goal went in, and it is, no one can deny it. They've lost to Swansea in the cup. You know, that's those sort of things. They
with
hurt.
similarly poor goals.
Yeah, they drew away at Burnley. They got beaten here by Sunderland. Sunderland's a newly promoted team, so some of the games there they should be winning. So as much as you can talk about, and tonight he'll be able to look at loads of bits and go, we did this well, we did that well. But ultimately, they've lost a game of football in Europe at home to a side from the Danish league. Nottingham Forest should be winning games like this. They really should.
And of course, fans are going to be frustrated. But we talked about it at the time. Were you quite shocked by that reaction when the third goal went in? The level of sudden anger and fury towards one man.
Yeah, your own fans singing against sacked in the morning after 6 games when. And again, we discussed it, that even though some of the results haven't been great, we have to win games of football, there was still a sort of a positivity towards some of the performances, and I think everyone agreed that, against Betis in that first game, that they drew the game 2-2, but they should have come away with something. And the fact that, the way the fans turned like that, yes, they got hit with a counter-attack, but that getting sacked in the morning, the way it suddenly turned, all the empty, you hear the clatter of seats, all those things, it did surprise me, because this is still a Nottingham Forest team, but it did feel the fans were with the players, didn't it, when they walked around? It was aimed at Ange Postecoglou, because rightly so, these players should have a lot of credit in the bank for the times they're giving these fans.
Just one last one, Matt. We saw him pivot, quite dramatically in the Europa League final, as it was in the end, in terms of his tactics. Do you believe he can get results with these players playing this way? Because they have got some tough games. Newcastle away, Chelsea at home, Porto at home, Bournemouth away. Bournemouth have been great this season. Does he have to pivot? Does he have to be a little bit more conservative with his tactics?
Maybe, and that's it. And that's what you have to win games. A lot of my friends manage teams. Okay, I've got friends who are Premier League managers. You have to win. The biggest currency of being a manager is winning. Yes, you want your style and you've got your tactics and identity and everything else. And I can see an identity to Nottingham Forest side, but you have to win games. You have to go and win, and you have to evolve. And he needs to get that weight off his shoulders. And you're just saying it there. I can't. Now I'm looking at it. So tonight I thought this is going to be the night you get that win.
They kick on.
But looking at those next games that you named, they're tough. They're really, really tough. Going all the way up there against, at St James's Park against a good Newcastle side. So I think he'll make some changes. Those fans in the corner from Midtjylland are absolutely loving it. But I feel it's going to be really, really interesting press conference. But the international break is what he's going to need to try and get some ideas. But a fair few of his players will be going away with their clubs, with their countries as well.
Matt, we've really enjoyed it tonight. Thanks for your company as ever.
Thank you.
Always appreciate it. Matt Murray, former Wolves keeper, with us on Talksport 2. Well done to Midtjylland, one of the great wins in their European history, and the fans are lapping it up. They may be small in number, but their singing is echoing around the city ground at the moment. And make sure you get over to the sports bar right now on Talksport, 03717 223344 to speak to Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Final scores tonight in League One: Rotherham 2, Bradford 2. Europa League phase, Feyenoord 0, Villa 2. Live on Talksport tonight: Sturm Graz 2, Rangers 1. And in the Conference League, Aberdeen 2, Shakhtar Donetsk 3. Earlier in the Conference League, a win for Crystal Palace, 2-0 at Dinamo Kiev. Celtic in the Europa League beaten 2-0 at home by Braga. Forest fans, Sports Bar wants your calls next. The number to dial: 03717 223344, and that'll be over on Talksport next.